Okay, I think we're back.
All right.
I think
All
I
right.
think I got everything sorted.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Well, hopefully that. Well, how dare it interrupt my segue? We're gonna lose our sponsorship at nicesegue.com. How dare you? Um. Well, I guess it can't be helped. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah. The community complaining about anime fights, quote unquote, becoming the new Marvel versus DC. Yeah. I sure do wonder if there's any Marvel versus DC fights coming up. Oh wait, it turns out it's the very next episode, and
Go figure.
oh, and oh boy, did they pick a they picked a hell of a one to come back on after 3 years of no Marvel DC fights, huh? Huh.
Man, God dang, I hate how you just said that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that, that's that's crazy.
I love time.
Don't we all?
Well, I don't.
I don't
And that's
either.
just the meme.
Nah, me
And I-
neither do I.
and that's
3
not
years
even accounting the
ago,
difficulty.
3 years ago, I was still in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and you boys weren't, and you boys were barely into your 20s. Love
Yep.
how that works.
But let's not dwell on that because we have
No,
Yep.
we've got
Yeah.
no. We're going from
We
one.
have-
We're going from one the depressing topic to actually another one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but for
because
very
oh
different
boy, this episode is arguably going to be super fucking depressing.
Probably.
oh boy. Yep.
Yeah, hey, you know how the last couple episodes have been super duper, kind of upbeat and have managed to find the bright side and everything. Yeah, good luck with that when it comes to this fucking episode.
Yep, I can believe it based on the characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which-
On that note, what's the Marvel versus DC episode, Brobuscus?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because yes, next time on Death Battle, we've got Superman, but not versus
Also Superman.
Superman,
but not.
but not. It's weird how that works out. And by that, I of course mean it is the Century from Marvel versus Superboy Prime.
From DC. Yeah. Oh, freaking boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. What?
Yeah, that sounds about right from my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Figuring this out. Good
So
luck.
okay. Full disclosure. Brobuscus and I have known about this episode for a little over a month because this episode was revealed at Comic Palooza.
Yeah.
And
I avoided spoilers, and thank you all for not spoiling it in the comments.
yes, and it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
And especially for Bro and I, because
It's funny.
Man,
It's funny because I had to break off from work for a second to figure out what it was, I went digging for it immediately. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother avoiding spoilers. If I'm on this fight, which I am, spoilers. Then I need to know.
And lo and behold.
And then I heard about it. And my immediate reaction was, oh, okay then, because like I had heard this match before, so it was like, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. And then like a few minutes later, once I got back to doing what I was doing, my mind like sat on it real quick, and I was like, wait, huh?
Yeah.
Like of all Marvel versus DC, not that this is a bad match or anything, but like of all Marvel versus DC fights to come back with, like when we have so many that are like insanely popular still, it's like, huh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna interject because obviously I waited until Denji Dori came out to find out, even though I might have saw some thumbnails for it beforehand, but I didn't really clock it. I was like, oh yeah, that's next. But like, honestly, it's just like when I heard about it, I was like, huh, like interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of this before. Although in hindsight, I probably have. I just didn't really think much of it, honestly. Like, I was like, oh yeah, okay, or just one ear and out the other. But
Yeah.
you know, when thinking about it, and you know, after talking about it in my reaction video, I was like, huh, okay, this is I'm intrigued,
Yeah.
to say the least. I am extremely intrigued on how this is gonna go in multiple ways. So, and you know, it does feel kind of good to get these characters on, considering how I was gonna say how big they are, but like, you know, it just feels like they have
The
that
Sentry's
kind of
been requested forever.
stigma. I was gonna say
Yeah,
like,
it has been
like
a hot
Sentry
minute.
Sentry is definitely a long time coming at the very least.
Superboy Prime, it's funny because Century has gotten a mainstream following thanks to the Thunderbolts, whereas Superboy Prime has only gotten his own relative mainstream fandom, and it's weird because again, as we'll get into this later on, but Superboy Prime is a interesting character to now say that, oh yeah, by the way, I and many others are fans of his as a character.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird to say out loud, but it makes sense within the context of what's going on. I was gonna say, it does feel like
Never thought we'd live in an age where people actually appreciate Superboy Prime.
Yeah, I know. We have pulled a 180. We are definitely in an alternate universe. And thanks a lot, SpongeBob versus Super Friends Aquaman. Still recovering from that. These two have grown. These two definitely have grown to the point where I can't say I don't understand why they pitted them against each other. I personally think this is a much better matchup than Superboy Prime versus Gwenpool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Comment on that.
I'm not gonna lie. Thinking about it more and more, I mean, I never was a big advocate for that fight, but I heard it and I was like, okay, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
And now I look at it and I'm like, okay.
I'll be honest, I think with that one, I like the theme of it more than I like it as an actual fight. Like, I think the theme is very fun, but like, oh no.
As an actual fight,
what is the dynamic here?
Simple, really. There isn't. It's just both of them.
How do you portray a fight here?
That's the best part. You don't. It's literally. It literally is something that basically the best way I can sum it up it feels like it can feel like a rejected concept that didn't make it into the Superman and Spider-Man modern day crossovers that we received this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, like that match especially is like kind of interesting that they decided against it, because I know that, like, Ultra was not like hard pushing for it, but he was advocating for it at least a little bit. Like he was like, yeah, this match is cool, and then they don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, he kind of got his wish. I mean, he did get Superboy Prime in. It's just not against who he wanted, and technically Century is fighting Superman, but just not the real Superman.
I was gonna say, funny how all those years ago, in Hulk versus Doomsday, where they just casually called him Marvel's Superman, and hey, what do you know?
And now we have paid it off.
Yeah, it's SpongeBob versus Aquaman all over again. What do you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that fight, so I know,
but
I know I do hope Gwenpool gets the episode eventually as well.
I mean, if she does, I'm not covering her.
Fair enough. All right.
I mean, it's especially interesting because a big request for Century is Superman.
Was Superman?
Which I never understood why. I mean, yes, I get it. Like, Century is Marvel Superman, quote unquote, but thematically, there is nothing to there's nothing to connect him to Superman as a character.
I kind of disagree, but it doesn't ultimately matter because we're getting this instead.
Yes. Ironically, as I say that, this fight and its main thematics, I can connect with one another. Because again, this is not gonna be. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna make. They're definitely gonna have some levity here and there because it's Death Battle. It can never be super serious. They have to take levity with these type of characters. But that being said, I'm hoping that they really don't just pull a Ruby Maka and just say, oh, and by the way, their worst days, yeah, they got over it. Moving on. It's like, no. You can't just, again, you can't skip over important stuff like that because these characters are kind of a little bit known for their trauma.
Yeah, I think it's different from Ruby Maka in that sense, because, like, with Ruby Maka, at least it was, like, the one thing. And then also probably talking about that in full context on a YouTube video is probably not the smartest idea.
Thanks, YouTube.
But, in this case, I kind of hearken this a little bit more as far as, like, the tragedy aspect of this goes. I hearken this a little bit more to something like Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer.
I would have said Guts Dimitri, but that is appropriately a better pick.
That one does work too, but they do cover their tragedies, their tragic backstories quite thoroughly in both of those episodes, really.
I think very good hand here in this fight's case.
Yeah.
I am hoping, just taking the Superboy Prime spotlight here. I am a big fan of this character, and yes, I do mean, when I say that, I don't mean unironically. Like, I genuinely do love this character, and it's not just, oh, it's Mr. I'm gonna kill you to death guy. No, it's Superboy Prime is very much now on a course correction where we've finally established that this guy's life kind of sucks, and it makes it only worse when you think about the stuff that he did, and then a certain plot point they got to when it explained why he did it. It ultimately, the best way I sum this up to, I think I said this to the guys off camera, but the best way to sum up Superboy Prime is imagine if Anakin Skywalker listened to a Nickelback song. That is legit the best way I can sum up Prime as a character.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, Richard.
No, I'm done. Go.
Full disclosure, I don't really have much to say on these two. I haven't really read their comics, but I haven't read or seen Thunderbolts. Maybe I will before the episode comes out. That's to be determined. But I will say I do really like Superboy Prime in concept, honestly.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
the whole thing.
He's like meta psychotic Superman.
Well,
I was gonna say, like,
not necessarily, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I find the idea of like a comic fan or like a fan of the media, but that eventually turns. Yeah, I'm gonna explain this very poorly. I apologize. A fan of the media that finds out they're in that media and then kind of, yeah, you know, ends up dealing with all the universe's bullshit. I don't know. I just think that's a very interesting concept.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, because again, like I'll go into this more later, but Superboy Prime is essentially us, the three of us, all of us. It's literally what if a Death Battle fan, what if a DC Comics fan, what if a comic book fan in general got powers, and it go, and you think it's going to be glamorous because you've read about these things, you know how this works, and then when
reality
happens,
sets in.
yeah, no. Then the DC reality sets in.
Oh God.
No. The DC reality is 10 times worse than our own reality.
And that's saying a lot, anyway.
It is. Also, what's interesting is that I don't know. This is literally the giant coincidence to end all coincidences. But before this fight was even, announced, it's funny how both Century and Prime had new ongoing issues that were concurrently happening apart from one another in the same year.
The Death Battle preceded.
Because spoiler alert, Prime has been filling in the role as Superman and protector of Metropolis for the past 3 months, and Century also recently got a new 4-issue miniseries that I told bro, be careful because it's kind of super fucking emotional and it goes up to 11.
Yeah, it sure does.
Oh dear.
Yeah, full disclosure, I didn't even, granted, I didn't need to because they came out after the episode was announced, but there are still the last 2 issues of that series. I still haven't read them. Because I don't feel like breaking myself today, thanks.
That's okay. I did it for you.
There's some deep emotional scars that I don't want reopened from that. Thanks.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
ZDogg, full ZDogg. Sum it up. It's essentially like, hey, so what can we do for Century's miniseries? I got it. John Wick. Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Oh,
wait. When you say John Wick, what are you talking about, other writer? Well, not the action kind. Oh, no. Yeah, that kind. Oh, this is gonna kill the audience emotionally. Well, if it makes us sales, then I say it's working.
I mean, it's not...
Fair enough.
It's not quite John Wick. It's, I was going to make a joke, but I don't feel like bringing the mood down today. So let's,
that's fair. Well,
let's not do that.
Again, it's. I'm not even joking. I genuinely do think it's in this more or less the same vein. It's John Wick Chapter 1, and But the overall point I was getting at here is that I'm just happy that these two characters are getting the spotlight in a death battle, and
Yeah.
you know, full disclosure, I kind of want this episode to paint a bigger picture and convince people to go check out their stuff because, spoiler alert, Prime and Century aren't going anywhere currently at their respective studios because their comics are having this little problem. They're kind of selling out.
Mm.
So if this episode can help carry that momentum, I very much would like to see what the studio what both studios do for them.
Yeah. I will also say, kind of looping around to the matchup as a whole, I think it will also be good considering, you know, a lot of these two's reputation, especially in versus, are just Lamau, they're overpowered. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But this, which I feel like this matchup, I definitely think, you know, going into their a lot more similarities than just that. Because I mean, granted, you probably still could use that connection for these two, but also, you know,
I mean, that's definitely
it
like
goes into their stories.
that's definitely the starting
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is another reason
And-
why I think this is probably the best route
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
because
they could have gone with. Really, I think I was gonna say the only other one that I think could have been interesting is Marquis of Death for Superboy Prime, but like, you know, who the heck
Yeah.
knows about the Marquis of Death?
No, well, okay. So circling back to Gwenpool versus Superboy Prime, I didn't want to say it like this, but I don't think that matchup would do anything for Gwenpool because Marvel has kind of, what's the word? Pushed her aside currently, and they're more in favor of ruining Peter's love life, because of course they are, by having another Gwenpool that is essentially more or less the Gwen that died from the tragic event in Peter's life all those many decades ago from Norman. And there's also another Gwen who has a stupid name that I will never say out loud, that is kind of stuck, or not even stuck, part of the main Marvel universe because writers are just like, I don't know what to fucking do. Like, we'll just make them a part of the main universe, just like Miles. Why should we say they're multiverse versions of Spider-Man? We could just simplify things by just saying they've always been here in this universe. What are you talking about? So Gwenpool being in a matchup, I don't think would have any. I personally don't think it would do anything for her because, again, other than making her one cameo in Hulk versus Godzilla, that's about it. Like, I don't know what you could do with that.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's something fun you could do with Gwenpool, just not against Superboy Prime.
I mean, if anything, yeah, because if anything, so I'm pretty sure Gwenpool won't be able to keep her hands off of Superboy Prime, and I don't mean that in the way, in the traditional death battle way.
Gosh. Probably not. Gosh. Alright, well, bro, would you like to go into your... unless, Richard, you have anything to say about Sentry, I was going to say...
I've known of him. I've known of him. I've been exposed to his stuff. I've never read it. And, yeah, I mean, it was nice to read about him. It was nice that he got to be in the Thunderbolts movie. I think they did a good job with the character. I'm excited to learn more about him in the actual episode. And the Russo brothers are really gonna have to do their damnedest to come up with the convincing way that this guy loses to fucking Doctor Doom. That's
Well,
all I got.
I'm sure they'll find a way. But regardless,
I mean,
yeah, bro. Would you
they
like?
found.
Would you like to give your 2 cents?
I mean, the comic writers found some way to make him lose to Null, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. If you want to give your 2 cents on Sentry and Superboy Prime.
Well, I have absolutely nothing on Superboy Prime. Knowing that he's gotten better is nice, but I still know him as Mr. I'll kill you to death. That's like the main thing I know. I've mostly ever heard about him. Aside from the fact that he is retcon man, but I guess we'll get to that later. But for Sentry, won't lie. Every time I heard about him prior, I've always known him as basically just like alternate, like, you know, Marvel Superman, just with a shit ton of abilities that Superman doesn't have. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I read his stuff, and holy shit, this guy's life sucks. Just straight up, no ifs or buts about it. It's really bad. As far as his character, okay, when he's the center of attention, he's great. I love him. When he's not, he kind of does a whole lot of freaking nothing. Which is not amazing, but okay, that's not something you want to say when you have only like 250 comics. But still, he's a cool character. I like him. Again, it's better when he's like he's got all the spotlight on him. Like in his own runs, he's fantastic. I love him, and I want better for him, for the love of God. But yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Awesome. All right. So now I guess we get to talk about the little preview that happened today.
I guess we
so.
do.
Yeah, it's looking really good so far.
Yeah, it's, oh my god. Yeah, it's looking great.
It is amazing.
Well, yeah. Well, we got another sprite fight. Let's go. We get more than one.
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Yeah, more. Yay.
I'm very
That's cool.
happy to see the sprite fight, the sprite fights back in full swing.
Yeah. And yeah, now this is looking very clean so far, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, especially
yeah.
when we just watched the preview before we recorded, and both ZDogg and I picked up on an animation style they're using for the first time that they've never used.
Oh, yep, and that is the very last shot of the preview. Funnily enough,
Yeah,
the
which
certain void.
yeah, which is rotoscoped. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's not drawn at all. It's literally like they rotoscoped somebody,
Mm-hmm.
which.
Looks really cool, and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the best way to handle the void, by having it just be rotoscope animation. Because then that is, to my understanding, that's more or less what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro knows more than we do, so.
That's true.
I'm honestly not crazy familiar with rotoscoping, so
I mean, all you need to know is it's essentially an official way. It's essentially trace animation. It dates all the way back to the 1940s when the person who invented it did, funnily enough, used and created it for those little known Fleischer Superman cartoons back in the day, and the method evolved to the point where you may have noted, you may not have known it was rotoscoping, but you know the effect that it's been used for, and that would be the lightsabers for the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah. There you go.
All it is just, like I said, it's just trace animation. You're basically just tracing a person or a thing, and you're capturing that detail to make it more authentic.
Yep.
It's very good. Like it's like there's even, I'm pretty sure Instagram or has a filter for rotoscoping, but it's a very fascinating form of animation. I would highly recommend looking up how it works, because it's if rotoscoping wasn't a thing, the lightsabers would still look like sticks, and other movies of the 70s to 90s wouldn't have been able to be as good as they are without it.
Yeah. No, I think it's very cool. They're experimenting with this style here, and
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best way to do so.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, the easiest way to tell it's rotoscope is when you look at the person, you can tell they move a certain way compared to something that's not natural. Like, it feels almost uncanny.
Yeah.
Well, that describes the Void in a nutshell, so that works.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm happy. I didn't have rotoscoping in Death Battle on my bingo card, but I'm happy I got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
And no, I think this preview looks great. I mean, the sprites look good.
Yeah, the sprites look really good. Very clean. I imagine they made the Superboy Prime one from scratch, if I had to guess.
Yes,
Maybe.
because that is based off of, so the sprite is his current outfit that he has. Excuse me, that he has. Thank you. During his, we'll just say, redemption run. It's not as bulky because it's not the Anti-Monitor suit. Because the Anti-Monitor Superboy Prime was very bulky.
Right. Well, either way, you know, it looks very nice.
It does.
They look very nice. It moves very nice. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both sprites are definitely based on something, but I can't quite pin it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the obvious answer is like they're based on Superman, but like the Superman sprites we all know and love are based off of something else too.
Yeah.
So
It's funny. Yeah, works.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would want to say Origin made those Superboy Prime sprites. I don't know about the Sentry. Like, I can't. Bro may be right. Maybe the Sentry sprite is based off of an existing sprite.
Maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
But so far the action looks great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I especially like Sentry, yes. Splitting the heat vision and then punching him. Punching
Yeah,
Brian, that's fun.
and I like how this fight will take place in Metropolis, which is,
Yeah.
believe it or not, is the second time in Death Battle history it's taken place in Metropolis.
Yeah, behind Goku Superman 1.
Yes. Goku vs.
Okay.
Superman 2 did not take place in Metropolis. It just takes place in a random city that had an SGC convention going on.
I was gonna say, you can't forget the SGC convention in that fight.
Oh no, of course.
Yeah.
Man, how I wish they could bring that concept back to like Superboy Prime and Sentry just crash into a building and it's VidCon, and Ben and Chad and the gang are just there on the panel watching these two Supermen just beat the shit out of each other.
That would have been a fun concept, actually.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, no, I'll say that until after we finish talking about the preview. But
Okay.
I don't know how much more we can say, at least visually, because it all just looks nice and the action.
It does.
seems fun. It does seem maybe a bit tamer than a lot of people were expecting. But I mean,
definitely gonna pick up later.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
I was gonna
well,
say,
like, this
it's
is
definitely
this.
that's definitely
this
on
is-
purpose. They're gonna get
Yeah,
some weird to it.
This is definitely the beginning aspect portion. The beginning aspect portion, if I had to take a guess. But yeah, Bro's right. Things are definitely gonna start getting crazier. Maybe a little bit of Simone versus Kyle levels of crazy, but we'll have to wait and see on that one.
I guess I will say, because this goes into it, I do really hope this fight gets very wacky and weird with its like the meta aspect of it all, because I don't know. I hope they play around with some weird shit with Superboy Prime, especially.
I mean, there is that option. I mean, I don't. So okay, I don't want people to just assume Superboy Prime is like a Looney Tune where he can just come out and just interact with other things. That's not how that works with him as a character. But I am expecting them to potentially go to different multiverses. I don't know if they could do that, but that's about as realistic as you could get it, because as far as I know, only one of these characters can traverse the multiverse.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I always like the concept, like
Yeah.
that multiversal stuff. I just think that's kind of fun to play into in fights. So
Yeah.
whenever you can. So fingers crossed. And I suppose we should be talking about the voice actors as well, because we have them officially now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Sad to report, there is no Corey voicing either character.
Damn.
So sad.
Damn it for anyway.
Yeah, the Corey era has come to an end.
Oh, how tragic. But we do have two returning voice actors for
we
Death Battle. So
we do have another.
Literally last year.
We do have another saga that might continue. On that note,
Oh,
hi
boy.
Philip.
Yeah,
How
you
Sacramento. How you doing?
Yeah,
Hey, Philip, how you doing?
there you go. Yeah,
Well,
I was gonna
go.
say very nice to hear. I was gonna say see him back, but it's very nice to hear him back on the show, considering he has a lot of good roles, and
Yeah.
he
I'm
has
expecting-
he has too many good roles. If you ask me, he's just that good.
This one is definitely the most different, though.
Yeah.
Although I imagine that will change when we hear him as the Void.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I am hoping he does something interesting with his voice. I mean, if I had to guess, they'll probably add a filter or some distortion to
Probably.
his voice when we see the Void.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's
I
good
will
to have
say-
Philip back.
So, sorry, there's one thing I do need
No,
to
I'm
comment on, going back to our thoughts on the characters. The Void is kind of an entertaining villain.
Oh
There's-
yeah, no, most
um,
definitely as a concept, I like him.
There, well, not even just as a concept, yeah, he's cool. But in practice, he's one of those like does not give a shit, jokes around, plays with his food sort of villains. There's one moment. This is after Siege, so he had already like killed. I guess spoilers. So I'm gonna bring it up again later. In Siege, one of the first thing he does is he freaking murks Loki.
Oh, jeez.
But then later on, Loki, who is either a clone revived. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not quite sure what the story there is.
Yes.
But okay, cool. So to fight Loki, Doctor Strange opens up like a secret door, not a secret door, but like it was a very locked door, and it was very locked because the Void was inside it all along, and he just decided not to tell anybody that because Lamau. And he lets the Void possess him to fight Loki, and one of the first things the Void says is, "Hi, how are you? Didn't I kill you already?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. The Void is not just some scary shadow figure. I mean, he is that, but he's also maybe a jester isn't the right word, but he's got attitude. I'll say that.
Yeah. He's a bit plucky.
He's a bit plucky, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Had to get that out of the way real quick.
All good.
And then returning voice actor number 2.
Yeah. Freaking
Yeah.
Sean Shiplock is back.
Of all people.
Yeah.
Superboy Prime. Didn't expect that, but I'm okay with it. Honestly.
Your first quote unquote adaptation ever. Your first time you're getting first time anybody gets to hear what you actually sound like, and your voice is Sean Shiplock. Okay.
Yeah.
Or why not?
Sure. I mean, he sounds exactly like how I would expect him to, so I guess it works.
I mean, so this is kind of plugging. I have no idea. This video has been in editing hell for months. It's not to the fault of the person helping me. Life just fucking happens. But I can tell you that I was technically the first one to give this character a voice in my own video, which is also a comic dub of his current ongoing arc. And the person I chose, spoiler, it's obviously not Sean, but the person I chose, I thought that his voice fit the character better, and the fact that he was a YouTuber who was a comic reviewer, a game reviewer, and lover of all things horror, Spider-Man, and what have you, I thought his voice was just ideal for the character. And I was right, because that's Superboy Prime to me. The only person who can kind of understand what I'm talking about is BrobusCast, because I helped him with a little project that he'll be releasing sometime this week involving, a particular speed draw. So he's the only one who can
I like
maybe...
I like how you maybe sort of kind of tried to be vague about it, and then you just decided nah.
Nah. But either way, that voice that person did just sounds more Prime to me. But Sean is not bad. Like Sean, it's funny. If I had to pick somebody to kind of give him a voice, it wouldn't be Sean. It was actually, I was thinking someone like Michael Kovac or Nicholas Andrew Louis, because they kind of have that young voice to them, because that is what Prime is. Don't let the multiple times he's been aged up fool you. He is still a guy in his 20s, so I always thought that type of voice would work better for him instead of Sean's not. What Sean's doing is good. It sticks to that criteria. I think the more I hear of it, the more I can determine my own conclusion. But it was definitely the right call to get somebody on who can do the young side of it, because yeah, Prime is, at the end of the day, he's not 100%, you know, like an old guy. He's not like Superman, who's gentle, kind, been around for a long time. He's not Batman, who is always more deep, smoky. No, he's a young kid. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Sean brings to the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really like the one line we do hear of him. So
yeah,
that's
which is in character, like that him just saying, "Oh,
Another-
another bad Superman ripoff, lame." Like, yeah, I mean, well, if anything, I would have expected him to just say, "Been there, done that." Because, yeah, Prime started that trend. But regardless, again, it's too early to tell, but I think the voice that I have in my head will probably, and no offense, will probably not be Sean. Because I have Superboy Prime's voice in my head, and I'm sure Sean will do a great job with the role. It's just, I won't hear his voice when I read his comics, and that's fine.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
that's
it's not a
but the
deal
character who
breaker.
doesn't, but the character who doesn't have a voice, like a canon voice, I'm sure that's like, you know, that's to be
Yeah.
expected. Not everyone's gonna hear the voice and say, "Oh, it's that character," but you know, as long as
Hopefully, by the time we record the next episode, I'll be able to plug my little video to let people determine which of the two voices you think fits Prime better. Because again, I'm biased. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I have faith Sean's gonna do a good job overall, though.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's funny he goes from Mahito to Superboy Prime, which,
Yeah, that's a hell of a jump in characters.
I mean, yeah, except it's kind of the reverse. He's the first one. He was voicing a psychotic demon that was just born to hate humanity and had no redeeming qualities about him whatsoever, other than he was mildly entertaining, but maybe a little bit pathetic and tragic. And now
he's
to
voicing
Superboy
someone
Prime.
who used to be that.
Yeah, exactly. To someone who now used to be that and is actually on a redemption.
Funny how voice acting works, but I leave
Again, look at this photograph.
Yeah.
Every time I'm out here, it makes me laugh. I'm done.
There you go.
Please. All right. Anyway.
Oh, okay, I get it. Nickelback hater, huh?
Anyways.
Cancel burlesque.
Okay.
I will say I do find it funny. The memes I saw after Philip got announced as Sentry, I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like, again, well, we're
like-
not there yet, but man, I'm a feel bad.
Like obviously,
No.
obviously people are joking, but I find the idea, like I just think I think it's hilarious. I find the idea that they're just like, okay, we're gonna do all this research. We're gonna write it. We're gonna cast our person first, and then we're gonna write our script based on our voice actor's win-loss record.
I mean,
The immediate counter argument I got was that Sean did voice Mahito and he lost too, but it's like
but that was his first episode.
Yeah, it's 1 loss versus 5, so it's quite a difference.
It's like comparing Nicholas Andrew Louis to another specific Death Battle voice actor that started off getting a lot of losses.
I do hope that obviously you never know, but man, I really hope he does get a win eventually.
I know, right? Philip,
Yeah,
doesn't stop his roles from being really good.
no, of course not.
Man.
no,
I mean,
absolutely not.
It's the same case with Christopher Guerrero. Like, eh,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
deserve to
I mean,
voice a winning character at least once.
or even Giano.
Oh yeah, Gianni Matriga. Yeah.
Yeah, Gianni. I
Gianni.
mean, shit. Gianni's good too. I mean, I will say this.
Yeah, but now he's got.
Bro, kind of.
Yeah, but now Gianni's got like 3 wins in a row, so I don't know. I don't really feel bad for him anymore.
No. Now it's just Chris. No, now it's just Chris Guerrero. Yeah, I know we've made the joke, but I kind of want there to be an episode where it's Chris Guerrero versus Philip Sacramento to see which one of them can get the win.
Let's pause for a second, because that joke will fall flat on its face if Sentry does win.
True.
But if he doesn't win, then the joke is saved. But
Yeah.
I see your point. We'll put a pin in that. But regardless, going back to what Bro kind of highlighted earlier, and we didn't go too deep into it. Philip Sacramento really is a voice chameleon. Like, dude can do a perfect Master Chief impression. Dude can do a perfect Tom Kane / Frank Oz Yoda impression.
Mm-hmm. He's really good at Kuma. Like,
yeah. Oh my
hell?
God. Arguably, that was, in my opinion, one of his best roles early
I
on
was
when
gonna
he was
say,
Akuma.
say what you will about Akuma versus Khan.
And there is a lot.
Philip's voice is definitely really damn good in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if
yeah,
Akuma ever comes
especially-
back, I really hope he voices them again.
Oh, yeah, win or lose. Like, win or lose. I would love to see Philip come back. I mean, now, granted, I don't know if you're going to get such a raw delivery like the Satsui no Hado is mine, but, hey, I'll be happy to be proven wrong because, again, I love that they keep Philip around to voice these characters. Like, I'm very curious if they just ask him personally, Philip, can you voice this character? Yep, done. Okay.
Yeah. I can see it.
Yes. Yeah. Excited to see what these two bring to the table. These are definitely my most anticipated voice actors in an episode.
Yeah. Hopefully they will deliver.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I have faith. That we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Is it time to unpin then?
Yeah, because
I
there's
guess.
no point in debating over the track because we can't even accurately debate or predict, not the other thing. We can't even accurately predict who will do the track. So whoever does it, awesome.
Yeah.
Hope it's a banger of a track.
Yep.
Vocal or non-vocal, I don't care. I want a good fucking track.
Yeah.
I don't even know predicting what's vocal and non-vocal. Because, like, man, what do you mean Cell Metal Sonic was an instrumental and Bakio Reze had vocals? What do you mean?
Like, in hindsight, that's just so weird to me, but,
Yeah,
whatever.
you would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Who
Uh,
freaking knows? And speaking of
yeah.
who freaking knows,
Oh, God.
I think it's debate time.
Yeah, I
again,
guess so.
nice segues, Doc. Again, nice segues, Doc. Anyway.
Yes. NiceSegways.com are proving to be one of the best sponsors we've ever had. They're our only sponsor.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, it's debate time.
Yes, it is. So freaking boy.
And
I feel like it's pretty obvious.
all I'm gonna say is y'all might want to strap yourselves in.
Yeah, this is
that-
gonna be a long one. If if you're at this point in the video, pause, go get some snacks, something to drink, preferably anything but beer, and sit back on your lazy boy chair or couch, whatever the hell you're sitting on, and let us spin you a tale.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty obvious based on the conversation who's repping who
home.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, bro. You literally said earlier, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, bro's repping Century, and I mean, considering the other comment.
I'm repping
Richard,
Superboy Prime. I'm literally holding Superboy Prime comics in my hand as we speak. So yeah, it's kind of obvious.
I never would have guessed.
Never would have seen that coming. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I could say. I guess what I can say is, for the first time since we've ever done this, when it comes to a Marvel character, I actually can tell you just about everything. Because I actually read every single Sentry comic that exists. Well, except for the last two, but shut up. I read every one that existed before this episode got announced. We'll go with that logic.
There you go.
Yep.
I kept track. When I started, there was 251 comics, and you bet your ass I read all of them. So we're in for it. We're in for it tonight, boys.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what you want us to say. It's a Marvel vs. DC fight. You all know how these work by now, I guess. I hope.
Well, if you remember.
If you remember. And if you don't, tough. Anyway, I am really trying to think of something else we could throw into this part before we do a deep dive into it, but I can't. So
Just let's do our best. We worked hard. Bro and I worked hard on this, and I probably think this is gonna be one of our best debates.
Oh, I will say that freaking extra week was a godsend.
Yeah, for sure. Although, oh wait, shit, I forgot. Because Bro mentioned it earlier. I pretty much did the same thing as Bro, except there was a teeny tiny problem. By the time we're recording this, the next Prime's issue isn't out yet. It comes out tomorrow on a Wednesday. So, I'm currently missing something, but don't worry. Like the good preparationist, I don't even know if that's a word, that I am. It is now that I am. I basically was able to scour ahead and find out exactly what old CK is going to be going through in the next couple of months. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal if I'm currently not fully up to date. So yeah,
but also those issues were after this episode got announced, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? In your defense, even if the contents of that issue end up in the episode, I kind of doubt it'll change much. But the result they choose.
No, but it will show. But the current issue that's coming out tomorrow is kind of gonna be DC Crisis on Infinite Earths level crazy. So there's that. But that's okay. I know some things, so it's not that big of a deal. We can make this work.
Okay. That's all we have.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
time to lock in.
It is.
Okay.
So this is the Sentry versus Superboy Prime. So I guess I gotta go first. Yay.
I'm so thrilled.
It'll be fine.
All right, well, bro, the floor is yours. Don't take it with you. Or something.
Well,
yeah.
god damn. Okay.
I mean, he couldn't if he wanted to. It's
I-
bolted to the ground.
Yeah, I really can't. Any... So, you've no doubt heard the story of the first superheroes. 4 astronauts take an expedition to space and come back with fantastic powers. With them comes a surge of iconic heroes like Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Avengers. But what if I told you that they weren't actually the first? What if I told you that there was another that existed before any of them that you don't remember? The tale dates back to March of 1947, in what just might be the first attempt at replicating the infamous super soldier serum. A group of scientists went to work on what would be called Project Sentry, where they didn't just try to replicate the serum that turned sickly Steve Rogers into Captain America. They tried to increase its potency 100,000-fold. But over time, the project eventually lost its original form and was thus outsourced to multiple recipients, including a science professor in Western Pennsylvania, who stashed it in his lab. And this is where the man of the hour finally shows up, a schizophrenic drug addict by the name of Robert Reynolds. The young Robert stumbled into the lab and found the outsourced Golden Sentry serum, and like any drug addict looking for a quick high, downed the whole thing. But instead of tripping balls, the serum gave Robert supernatural powers, which didn't go unnoticed by the professor or the scientists at Project Sentry. After multiple experiments, which were in actuality just trying to find a way to kill him, the professor decided if they couldn't get rid of him, they might as well turn him into a force for good. And so, Robert donned a golden suit and became the Golden Guardian of Good, the Sentry, defender of the world and a beacon of hope against the dark shadow villain called the Void. And thanks to the Golden Sentry serum, Robert has a lot, and I mean a lot, of abilities to take the bad guys down. The Sentry controls what's called the, quote, power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. And he uses that power to fire energy blasts out of his hands and eyes, form defensive barriers, communicate telepathically, teleport, turn invisible, absorb energy, shut up alarm, sense the auras of others, and manipulate the molecules of others. Okay, I realized I wrote that weird. Okay, cool. His energy also appears to have a calming effect to it, even working on the Hulk, a being known for being so unbelievably angry. Not only that, but they can also revive the dead. At one point, his wife Lindy was murdered by Ultron, but upon touching her corpse, without him even realizing it, his energy brought her back to life. His super senses are so strong, he can hear a butterfly sneeze in Central America from Manhattan. And another man with the Sentry's powers, named Ryan Toppler, could hear a person crying on the moon. As in, he was on Earth, this person was on the moon, and he could hear her. He can resist antimatter, escape mental prisons from the likes of Doctor Strange and Cranio, endure the E-nullifier altering his chemical structure, and resist having his soul corrupted by a celestial. And he's not just strong, he's a super genius, even being compared to big brains like Reed Richards and Tony Stark. Robert hacked into Reed's security codes, breached the Baxter Building's security stasis field, and built his Watchtower HQ, as well as his AI companion, the Centrally Located Organic Computer, or Clock. Should the need arise, Clock can communicate with Sentry, command drones armed with machine guns, and has even teleported the Sentry out of parallel dimensions like the Negative Zone. Sentry needed all this and much more in his battles against the Void. But here's the thing. The Sentry's life is not the comic book superhero life you might expect. For it turns out the Void, his greatest enemy, was actually himself all along. See, inside the body of Robert Reynolds lies two different beings, the heroic Sentry and the villainous Void. For every heroic act, for every heroic act the Sentry does, or every person he saves, the Void does an act of evil to balance it out. The physical embodiment of the phrase, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. And should Sentry falter, the Void can take full control of the body, and then everything is screwed. On top of the Sentry's flight and energy projection, the Void can control a person's mind and soul, either through stealing memories or ripping out a person's soul, and controls tendrils that, when they come into contact with a person, can make them witness their worst fears. As the Sentry puts it, the Void plants a big black swath, of fear over a person's heart. Fearing the ramifications of being the world's greatest hero and greatest threat at the same time, Robert decided it'd be best for the world to forget about him, and for Robert to forget about his split personality. So with the help of Reed and Clock, as well as some shenanigans with Mastermind, it's a long story, he set up a transmitter that wiped the world's memory of him. Mostly. The Sentry's influence still existed across the world. Famed comic book writer Paul Jenkins, yes, Sentry's real creator exists in the Marvel Universe, subconsciously wrote the Sentry's origins in comic books, and even Robert himself was still haunted by the Void, believing he killed his own wife Lindy. But with some help from Emma Frost and learning that Lindy wasn't dead after all, Robert re-embraced his Sentry persona and joined the Avengers. And then Civil War happened, a bunch of shenanigans happened after, and Sentry would find himself on a new Dark Avengers team, led by Norman Osborn himself, because that sure couldn't go wrong. Regardless of whatever team he's on, though, the Sentry is a force to be reckoned with. He's battled Green Scar Hulk to a standstill, something even Doctor Strange can't claim, punched through an Iron Man suit, flew out of Earth's orbit and past other planets, dodged the incalculably fast Mjolnir, and stonewalled a punch from the Thing. He's been stated on more than one occasion to have stalemated Galactus and punched Thor hard enough to draw blood. It's no wonder that both Carol Danvers and Matt Gargan independently claimed he's the strongest member of any Avengers team he's been on. Hell, at one point, he straight up killed a Celestial by just flying through its head. And the Void is even crazier. As he sent Thor and Miss Marvel flying, broke all the Hulk's bones, and survived a hit from Thor when he was amped by the Norn Stones. Norman needed that kind of strength in his siege against Asgard, which had invaded the planet and built a massive city. Against the Asgardians, Sentry has destroyed buildings, held his own against Thor, and was ultimately responsible for the city's destruction. Then the Void showed up, mopped the floor with Earth's heroes, and even incinerated Loki, the god of mischief. But the Void's tenure didn't last long, as he was finally brought down and killed by Thor, while Robert was thrown into the sun, ending the life and suffering of Robert Reynolds once and for all. Until the Apocalypse Twins use the Death Seed to bring him back to life. Though, it's possible he might not have needed that, considering his absurd regeneration, which might as well be considered reconstruction. He's been shot in the face by a gun that burned his skin off, blown up from the inside by Morgana Le Fay, pulled apart by Molecule Man, and both him and the Void have been fully submerged in the sun, and is regenerated from all of it. When he was resurrected by the Apocalypse Twins, his body was regrown from a single atom. And yet, somehow, even this didn't save him from the symbiote invasion, where he got ripped apart by the King in Black, Null. Despite that, though, Sentry was once again brought back to life as a Revenant, but was thankfully saved by Doctor Strange. But among his constant cycles of life and death, he still struggled to contain the Void, until finally, during a battle with his former sidekick, Robert accepted the Void instead of continuing to fight it, and the two merged together to form Sentry's ultimate state of being. In this merged Sentry state, Robert gains the powers of both Sentry and the Void, and can form tendrils like a symbiote to trap opponents or form shields tough enough to withstand hits from She-Hulk. He's so powerful, he can survive a hit from All-Father Thor, sent him and Captain Marvel flying with his strikes, destroyed the Cancerverse, an entire alternate reality, and is said to warp reality with his mere presence.
Okay, I'm sorry. Pause. Sorry, the Cancerverse?
Don't ask. Anyways.
Okay, continue.
This form went from nearly getting killed by his sidekick, who gained the Sentry's powers, to casually soloing the Avengers after merging. The Sentry is an unstable, terrifying, and powerful threat, but he also just might be the greatest hero in the universe. You'll either face the golden light, or find yourself plummeting into the darkest void.
Nice. All right, that's an interesting start to say the least. Already, but
Okay, I'm gonna be real for a second. I have no idea what the deal with the cancer verse is.
I was gonna like, what the? That's okay.
Just don't ask.
Okay, I won't.
All right, we're back.
Yes. All
All
right.
right.
Richard, are you now ready to give your thing?
Yes.
This is gonna be a little different. I'm just going to let everyone know this is not going to be so much a character breakdown as it's going to be a character explanation, an essay, if you will, because I want to stick to the true roots and passion I have for this character. So,
Let us begin.
All right, go for it.
Imagine it's Halloween night. You're on the beach with your best friend, who you've had a crush on since childhood. Then all of a sudden, a flying comet is passing by. There's a feeling like you could go up and touch it, grab it. After many attempts, you finally have caught it. But something amazing has happened. You're now flying high in the sky, able to touch the clouds above. Things only get more intense when Superman of Earth 1 comes down after seeing you fly. He says there's a crisis happening across the multiverse. Heroes from different worlds are banding together to stop this anti-monitor from erasing the entire cosmos. Now, these explanations feel like they're coming straight out of a comic book. But luckily, it's something you have been a fan of, / expert on, dating back to when the parents who found and raised you always decided that if they were going to have a son, they would name him with something that perfectly fits for their last name and love of this beloved icon, Clark Kent. Now, it's time to be the hero who not just saves the day, but the entire multiverse itself. Now, you see, Clark wasn't good at sports. Every time he failed, his entire school would give him the nickname Man of Steel. But what he lacked in physical attributes, he excelled at in comics. Now, comic books, these were not just books. They almost were like guidelines to shape him into being a good person. And obviously, the one that stuck out to him the most was the one he was named after, Superman. And now the only person in his life who he could truly confide all of this in was his best friend Lori, who he had a massive crush on. But unfortunately, like all guys, he could never work up the courage to ask her and tell her exactly how he felt. Until that previously mentioned Halloween night, where after he came back from introducing himself to Superman and agreeing to go help him against this anti-monitor, he told Lori how he felt. He kissed her, and she loved him back. And she supported him, and told Clark to go save the world. And he did. Clark not only saved the world from helping to defeat the Anti-Monitor, but he helped to save the entire DC multiverse. And you think that after such a victory like this, having all of these powers now in your grasp, getting the hang of it, and getting to say that you fought alongside the Justice League and other heroes from different parts of the cosmos, you would think that this would end with him getting the girl, but it didn't. You see, unfortunately, during the crisis, Anti-Monitor erased Superboy Prime's Earth, our world. And now that it was destroyed, Clark didn't have a home. But there was a solution. Kal-El of Earth 2, his wife Lois, Prime, and Alexander Luthor Jr. from Earth 3 would go into a pocket dimension. They could live comfortably there, and they could watch as all of the new events are being unfolded in this new DC universe, to appreciate that even though they didn't get to have the happy ending, they could enjoy and be glad that others could. Unfortunately, one Jeff Johns, Paul Dini, and many writers at DC editorial of the early 2000s later, the years have passed, something happened. You see, everyone in the pocket dimension, well, they didn't look at this universe like how it was, because it wasn't. In this universe, it was getting more darker, more grim, grittier. Characters were dying, not coming back. There was no longer any black or white. It was all just murky, gray, and ambiguity. And this wasn't what Clark and the others had envisioned. This isn't what they fought for. So, Alexander Luthor convinced both Kal-El and Clark that they could go and restore their Earths. They could get their realities back. So that way, they didn't have to look at this one. And so, that's how it happened. Both Superboy and Superman of Earth 2 punched their way out of those pocket dimension, or that pocket dimension, excuse me. And the plan was simple. Kal-El would go and explain his cause to Batman and Power Girl, tell them how if he could have his world back, he could have a world where it's more light, upbeat. The good guys win, the bad guys lose. No one has to die, including his wife Lois, who is not only getting rapidly older, but is dying. And unfortunately, both Batman and Kara didn't agree to this. So, Superman decided that he would respect their opinion, and cutting over to Superboy Prime, well, you all know how this goes. Superboy Prime went to go explain his cause to the Titans, to then current Superboy Connor Kent, who was now the new Superboy of the DC universe. And at first, it wasn't going well. And instead of it going in a more diplomatic way, Superboy Prime expressed his jealousy, his hatred for this version of the man who wears that name, that S, telling him that he's lucky. He has everything. He has a world, girlfriend, family, friends. Oh, he has nothing. And eventually, whether it be of his own, or, as he put it, the universe infecting him like a parasite, Superboy Prime snapped and killed several members of the Titans unintentionally. And he would fight Superboy. And as the situation got out of control, that's when it was decided that he had to be put away. And so he was put into the Speed Force by Barry, by Wally, and by Bart. And so years passed, and eventually, we all know you can't keep a good villain down. Superboy Prime would eventually get out of the Speed Force, but now something's different. He's older, and he now is wearing the armor that he took after brutally murdering the Anti-Monitor, and used that suit to give himself perpetual sunlight so that he wouldn't need to absorb it. And he teamed up with Alexander Luthor again. Their goal was simple. They would build a machine that could bring back both their Earths. And whether or not that the heroes would agree with them or not, they went with the plan. But something happened, as all good things do. You see, Alexander told Superboy Prime, in a very Darth Sidious to Darth Vader fashion, that he couldn't find his Earth. Because Superboy Prime is not the same person anymore. His Earth can't register him. And so, Earth Prime is something that Superboy can never have. So he decided to say screw it. He would be the villain. He would be the villain that would take out all of his aggression, frustration, his jealousy out onto this universe. Because this isn't what he fought for. And so, he would go on to take down and kill not only more members of the Titans, not just an entire Green Lantern Corps, but tragically, Connor Kent. And so, he would have one last fight with Superman of Earth 2 and ARM mainline Superman. And unfortunately, after all three of them took this fight to a red sun and crashing down on a nearby planet, Superboy Prime had more than enough energy inside of him to introduce his famous and most iconic catchphrase, "He'll kill you. He'll kill you to death." And he brutally murdered Superman of Earth 2 by turning his face into something that would make beat-up Mark from Invincible jealous. And so, Superman of Earth 2 died. But he died saying it was okay. He accepted this world. He saw that they were still doing it. And he could finally be reunited with his Lois Lane. And after nearly killing mainline Superman, the hero of justice, the man of tomorrow, was able to muster up just enough strength to beat him into submission. And so, he tore the S from Superboy's chest, telling him he will never earn this symbol. He will never understand what it's like to be Superman. And he has lost all of the respect and admiration from his hero. And so Superboy Prime was taken into a cell underneath a red sun, guarded 24/7 by not 1, not 10, not 50, but 100 different Green Lanterns. Wait, and Superboy Prime would just stand there, waiting, saying he is Superman, and if the world won't let him be Superman, then he'll just say he is Superman. And he carved a Superman shield into his skin with his own fingernails, permanently a tattoo, no, scar, to remind us all and to remind him that there can only be one Superboy. And so, time passed again, and eventually he got out, thanks to the help of the Sinestro Corps, where he temporarily joined and became a member of the Sinestro Corps. And as he does what he does, he would take out his frustration once again on the mainline heroes. And eventually, they got tired of it. So, he was flung to the far future, the 31st century, where he is now stuck. And he goes to a museum that has an entire Superman section dedicated to it, listing all of his battles, all of his victories, except Superboy Prime isn't there. He's gone. He doesn't understand how he could not be there as one of Superman's most hard-fought victories. And so, taking his frustration out on the Legion of Superheroes, beating them one by one until they were desperate enough to call for Superman. And Superman actually tried to appeal to the good person he thought was still inside, telling him to remember his love of comic books, his love for Superman, the reason why he became a hero in the first place. But it was to no avail. Superboy Prime was gone. He was taken over by this rage. And so, Superman would eventually fight something that was connected to Superboy Prime, a being called the Time Trapper, which, to put it simply, the Time Trapper is essentially the be-all, end-all of time and existence itself. It is a guardian that is there to watch things unfold until the heathening death in the universe. And while that was going on, the Legion had no choice but to call on one more person who could help stop this rampant Superboy. None other than Superboy himself, Connor Kent, alive and well, telling Prime that he is the one called Superboy. And while the two battles were going on concurrently, Superman discovered a horrifying truth to the Time Trapper's identity. Because, you see, in reality, the Time Trapper is, wait for it, an older Superboy Prime, one who messed with time so much that he essentially became, like Superman himself, a foundation in the universe. No, the multiverse itself. No, time itself. Meaning that he can never be gone. He can never be erased from existence. And so, Superman got the idea to take him back to see his younger self, to see if this would wake up Prime. And it kind of did. Because you see, Prime eventually saw through this and couldn't believe it. And so, he punched the Time Trapper, essentially punching himself. And, well, wouldn't you know it, he was actually back home. He was back on his Earth. He went to go see his parents, his girlfriend, tell them that he's back, and show just how much he's missed them. But something's wrong. As soon as he walks in, his parents, horrified, they're scared. Lori screams in agony and fear, telling him to get away from her, to never come near her. Clark is confused. Why? What has happened? He sees that his parents, and Lori by extension, just were reading the Final Crisis storyline, where Superboy Prime killed so many people. And now, Superboy Prime got what he wanted. He was back home, but he was hated. He was made fun of on the internet for just being a character that whines, complains a lot. And he spent all of his time on a message board, going through and defending himself. For the people don't know that he is that character. He is that person. And so, Superboy Prime is reading the current series, The Blackest Night, following an action-adventure comics. But something's wrong. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him, because it's here that he finds out. He is a comic book character. He's always been a comic book character within a comic book. And so, he can't accept this. Clark rushes, tells his parents to take him to the nearest comic book store, and they're afraid of him. They do it. They do what he says, not because they care, but because they're afraid he'll kill them. And he goes in and he demands to the comic shop owner for the newest issue, but unfortunately, it won't come out for another couple of weeks. And Superboy Prime is scared. He's on the verge of potentially either living or dying by the writer's hand. And so, he doesn't have to wait anymore, though, luckily, because Alexander Luthor is back from the dead, now as a Black Lantern, along with other Black Lanterns, and they're there for one reason. They want Superboy Prime to join them. His energy is just too good to pass up. Naturally, Prime refuses, and he even gets his powers back. He fights all of the Black Lanterns all the way to New York City, where, wouldn't you know it, he flies directly into DC Comics Studios, the building, the place that is responsible for his birth, his creation. Their fight is tearing through everywhere in the building until he eventually comes across the editorial staff and the writers, begging them to stop writing, stop drawing whatever it is going on, because it is affecting him in real time. If he loses, that's because they made it so. And eventually, it's hopeless. Alexander Luthor taunts him, telling him that he can't win. He'll always be forgotten. But that's when Superboy Prime gets the idea to put on a Black Lantern ring. And so, that's what he does. He puts on the ring, but something happens. By putting on the ring, he goes through almost the entire emotional spectrum. Flash. Excuse me, I have to adjust my mic. Green flashes, signifying that he has the will to fight for the respect that he believes is earned. Compassion flashes, showing that he has sympathy for what he's done to Lori. Avarice next. Superboy Prime's fears. What are they? Well, he's afraid of the heroes that he let down. And finally, anger. The worst of them all. He has hatred. But it's not for Superman. It's not for Connor. It's not even against his family or the people he believes abandoned him. No. It's against himself. There's nobody more that he hates right now than himself. For what he's done, for what he's become, or for what he's been forced to do. And so, using whatever energy is left in the ring, he kills all of the Black Lanterns surrounding him. And he's left alone in the basement of DC Studios. It could not be more sad, more bitter. He talks to us, and he says, and tells us, the audience, that he knows nothing he does matter. Everything is pointless. He realizes that he has no free will of his own. He'll always be forced to do things that are outside of his control. And he doesn't care anymore. Nothing to him will ever be his choice. And so, that brings us to Superboy Prime's involvement in the Dark Knight Metals series. A rogue Batman by the name of the Batman Who Laughs. Simply a Batman and Joker fused together. They are planning to create an entire new DC multiverse, one purely out of evil, and so much horrific things that I don't even want to describe. And so it's an all hands on deck. Heroes, villains from the entire DC multiverse currently are there to stop the Batman Who Laughs, including Superboy Prime, who tells us what his life used to be like, catching us up on what he's currently been through, and telling us in a very low monotone voice, nothing matters. This all doesn't matter. The heroes, the villains, hate him. He hates himself. He wants nothing to do with anybody because he knows it's not going to make a difference. He sits alone, just contemplating his thoughts. Nobody will talk to him. Except one thing. It's Crypto the Super Dog. A dog that he used to love. That he used to like. And the thing comes up to him, and he starts to give Superboy Prime comfort, admiration, and for a minute, Clark lets his guard down and actually pets Crypto until the fight is begun. You see, the Batman Who Laughs brings together different Superman from his new multiverse, all evil incarnate, to come and kill the heroes. And one of those Supermen is from the future of Batman Who Laughs multiverse. And he goes after Prime, and he tells Prime that everyone in this battle will be remembered. Everyone in this battle will be talked about for decades to come. Whatever happens, it will be remembered. But not him. Superboy Prime is nothing more than a footnote in this whole cosmic event. And he tells him that he's fighting a losing battle. There's no point. But Prime has heard this before, and he doesn't care. He tells him that he knows, but he's still going to fight. And instead of helping the heroes and villains on the ground, he decides to go straight to the source. So he flies faster than light, passing different Earths from this new multiverse in an instant. And as he's flying, he sees something. He sees a glimpse, a flash, of him in a universe where he's loved. He's admired. He's a founding member of the Justice League. him and Loy are together. And eventually, they have a daughter. And he goes to the Batman Who Laughs, asking him what is going on. And the creature just tells him what he's seen is a flash of what can be. Batman Who Laughs offers him a place in his world, saying with this device, he can create an entire universe where Superboy Prime has what he wants. He doesn't need to be worried about being remembered or being admired. But Superboy Prime says, fuck you, and decides to fight him. And their fight is epic. It's glorious. And eventually he gets the upper hand. It goes back down to where the heroes are fighting, but ironically, it's on such high ground that they can't even see what's going on. So nobody can see what's happening. And that's when Superboy Prime sees the power to create, the power to make everything he wants a reality. And the Batman Who Laughs begs him, pleads with him one last time to accept his offer. And just when it looks like he's about to consider it, something happens. He looks down, and the one person that is there with him to give him the strength and remind him he is a good person, it's not a hero, it's not a villain, it's not even a person, it's a dog. It's Crypto. And looking at Crypto, he finally realizes that he's going to ignore fate. He's going to write his own ending. He may be a villain by the other heroes, but he is finally going to be the hero that he always knew he could be. And he destroys the machine, the power, and everything the Batman Who Laughs had crumbled. The new multiverse is gone. The old one is saved. But the sad bitterness of it is, nobody knows who did it. They question what happened, who did it, and nobody is there to really ask the important question: where is Superboy Prime? And then we get one final shot of Superboy Prime in a crater, very much like his hero before him. His armor badly damaged beyond repair. He's gone. And the only thing to mourn him is once again the person or dog that inspired him to be the hero again. And that's Crypto. But it's not all doom and gloom. For you see, miraculously, somehow, some way, Superboy Prime, Clark, is alive, and better, he's back again in his own universe, in Earth Prime, reading the Dark Knight Metal's conclusion, seeing himself dead in the pages, questioning how could he be here? What is this, a dream? Is it a pocket dimension? He doesn't know. But just as he could figure it out, Lori, his crush, his friend, comes in to ask him if he would like to take a walk. And he says he wants nothing more. She even says, you could take your new dog with you. And we see Crypto is there with him. And as they're both walking, that's when Superboy Prime has an epiphany. Even if this isn't real, it doesn't matter. Because he's happy. He's finally able to be himself. Who he wanted to be all along. And he tells us a very inspiring message. Sometimes in life, we all need to go outside and walk our dog. Because what he teaches us, in his own way, was that we can all tempt. We can all dare to dream, and we don't have to be Destiny's puppet. We can now be our own person. We can be with people who see us and care and admire us for who we are. Not for who we want to be, but just for who we are in the present. And as of right now, Superboy Prime's adventures continue. He is back in the DC main universe. He has helped Superman and the Justice League stop Darkseid from winning the tournament that would have given him the power to reshape reality again. He is currently now serving as Metropolis's protector. He now has friends. He now has a job. Interestingly and more fittingly enough, as an assistant in a comic book shop. And he's genuinely trying to be better. There's always that part of him that wants to give in. That's someone who tempts him to give in. But he'll always say no. Because he knows, at the end of the day, that's not what Superman would do. And so, our hero can now fly into the sky with a smile on his face, hearing his own theme song in his head, and saying and proclaiming out loud, "It's prime time."
Okay, we good?
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Richard, Christ alive.
Yeah, all right, well, both of you get both, because my goodness.
Okay, Richard, you and I need to have a serious conversation about how much we talk about, because Jesus Christ.
Too much?
That took probably like 20 minutes, so yeah, maybe a little too much.
Yeah. I won't lie, I did get really invested though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was okay. Let me say, it was good. I like it. It was great. You need to make a video essay. Not this is, but we're not here for that.
All right.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
But no, I think we can work on this for sure.
Okay. And in all of that, what are Superboy Prime's powers?
Yes. So Superboy Prime's powers are essentially those of Superman. Heat vision, super strength, invulnerability, flight, the ability to warp reality however he sees fit, the ability, of course, to fly faster than light, and as I said, he has a lot of solar energy that is constantly stored in his body to make sure that he doesn't need the sun 24/7. And also, I think the most important one is the retcon punch. Now, earlier on, in his first bout with Kal-El and Superman of our Earth, or that Earth, he did the unthinkable. He reset the entire multiverse to conform to a new law where essentially things are now different. We now are in the post-crisis phase, where it's before the pre-52 era. And obviously the biggest thing that came out of that was he brought Jason Todd back to life, which, funny enough, he does have some ways of bringing people back to life. And also, he can use magic. He was temporarily given the magical abilities of the Shazam family. Well, scratch that. He was given the ability to separate the Shazam family from their, famous avatars. And he doesn't seem to have
that much magic incantation, but he is capable of doing some type of magic, though it's never really explained what kind. And yeah, that's about it. Anything Superman can do, he can do.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hey, ZDogg, questions?
Gosh.
Just don't. The only thing I ask is don't ask the obvious one just yet. Let's build up to it.
Okay, I'll try. Okay, so I do have a question about the anti-monitor armor. Is it so? It's made out of the anti-monitor. Monitor, you said?
Yes. When Superboy Prime was quote unquote trapped in the Speed Force, which I have looked into, anyone other than a Flash, the Speed Force can erase somebody from reality, and Superboy Prime was able to obviously resist that, and during his adventures off-screen outside of the Speed Force, he went and killed the Anti-Monitor and took his suit and modified it to where now it's essentially a suit of armor that gives him endless amounts of solar radiation.
Okay. Question: has that ever been shown to break? Like,
During him punching the multiverse warping reality MacGuffin power device that the Batman Who Laughs was trying to use to rewrite all of DC Comics as a whole, yes. When he destroyed that power, the power was so great that it not only killed him for a second time, but it also shattered his armor.
okay.
Currently, he does not have that same armor. It's a completely new armor set because he's now a new person. He's not a Time Lord or anything, but he's figuratively a new person, and therefore his new suit is less bulky and something that is more, well, maneuverable in, but it does still continue to give him solar absorption powers.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, solar absorption. Like, basically, it functions like one of Superman's suits that he has called Solar Suit, where its entire purpose is to absorb solar radiation to give him extra juice in case he himself cannot.
Okay.
As a complete aside, the Batman Who Laughs can go screw himself. Fair
enough.
Anyway, sorry, had to get that out of the
No.
way.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Good to know. All right. I have some questions about the void aspect of things, if you don't mind. Okay. So when Sentry's in the void, so you said it's one good thing. Every good thing he does, the void has to do a bad thing, right?
Yeah, anytime anytime Sentry does something good, the Void has to do something bad to counter it out.
Literally, life balancing itself.
Okay, yes. So, question: when he's enveloped by the void, how does he? Is there like a time limit for that, or like
No.
does he just? How does that work?
At least I don't think so. To be honest, it's kind of like the Void isn't necessarily like a transformation, in a sense. You can kind of, sort of. I guess you can kind of compare it in a sense to like Bruce's multiple Hulk personalities.
Right. Okay.
I have honestly completely and totally lost my train of thought. No, I don't think there's like a time limit or anything. It's not exactly made the most abundantly clear. It's mostly like the Sentry. It's like the battles between Sentry and the Void, like as they're described in like comic books, like in universe comic books. I mean, or like in other people's minds. Is basically the internal battle inside the mind of Robert Reynolds.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, when like in Sentry's first run, it's all about him. Like by this point, he had already met everybody. He already knows who everybody is. Everybody's supposed to know who he is, but everybody's lost their memory of him. But he keeps saying like the Void is returning, the Void is returning, and when he kind of does, it looks like a giant like thunderstorm. So it's like the Void is like this dark presence that is not the Sentry but evil. Like he's his own separate character, except he's not. That's why everybody had to forget about him, because everybody had to forget that the Sentry and the Void are one and the same.
Right.
But it's portrayed in like people's minds, or like in, like I said, in universe comics, as like the Sentry is the heroic good guy. He's Superman basically. While the Void is like, he's often portrayed as like a gangster for some reason. Like Al
Capone.
Sure, I mean, like gangsters in like tuxedo suit and everything. I guess more of like a mob boss might be a better comparison. But anyway,
Okay. So.
but all of that is bullshit. It's
Okay.
But you can kind of infer it as like the never-ending battle that goes on in Robert Reynolds' head.
Right. And just to play off of that, so you wouldn't say it's like, like a super shadow or like a super hedgehog or super saiyan, whatever the hell you want to compare it to. Like, it's not like something that makes him stronger or anything like that. So anything.
Not in a traditional sense. The Void is technically stronger than the Sentry. Well, I guess I don't know if stronger is the right word. He's definitely more ruthless. I guess the thing is that like the Void is essentially, what if the Sentry was evil, really, and never held back ever. So like in a sense, the Void is like portrayed as stronger than the Sentry, but it's not in the same sense of like as like a Super Saiyan transformation or anything like that. Yeah. I guess you can kind of consider it compare it to like Johnny Blaze and Zarathos in a sense. Like it's still the same body. It's just now a separate mind has taken over, and now you're all screwed.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think of some other things because honestly, that was a lot. Okay. Let's see. What about? So I don't think I've ever heard of clock for Sentry as well. I'm curious. I don't even.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know if clock's gonna be super helpful here.
Okay.
Like in a sense, like in this sense, clock basically serves as I don't know, the I guess you could say like man in the chair, except it's not a man, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Think of it like it's a good comparison here. It's not the same as like Master Chief and Cortana.
There you go.
It's not remotely close to that. Or like, okay, ZDogg, I know you haven't watched Red vs. Blue, but I know you've seen Meta vs. Carolina.
Okay, I felt like Epsilon.
It's not like Epsilon,
Yeah.
not even remotely close.
Not the whatever freaking Carolinas is.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's not like that at all. Clock basically, he's like the central AI computer of the Watchtower.
Okay.
But he does like communicate with Sentry while Sentry's out in the field. And like there are instances of Clock controlling like drones and shit, but like those drones shoot like basic machine guns basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess if you really want to, this is the first comparison that comes to mind. Think of it kind of like Minion,
There you go.
Okay.
but like specifically how he was presented in Gru versus Megamind.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he
Yeah,
stays at the base. He communicates with the man in question, and yeah, like that. It can be helpful, but it's not. Hey, you have technology, and now you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So honestly, I brought up Clock because I thought it was fun, and you know, there might be some use there, but I don't. It's not going to be. If anything, I don't expect to see it ever show up. But if anything, like Watchdog is probably more useful for a fight like this than Clock.
Okay.
And to make an extremely long story short, Watchdog is kind of like Crypto. He's a dog with the Sentry's powers. Yeah, and he also may or may not be the reason why I am not reading the recent Sentry run. And I will say no more than that because, again, emotional scars do not need to be reopened today. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on then.
Yeah.
Let's see. You mentioned Soul chicanery for Century.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Soul.
for Void.
Yes. Okay.
Um, Yeah.
I was gonna say.
So context is well, the Void is essentially he's described as a beast who like devours the souls of men. He even threatened at one point to like devour the souls of everybody in the universe or some shit. You know, classic mustache twirly villain speech. You know how it goes.
Right.
But there's one moment when I believe it's Sentry and the Hulk go to the negative zone for one reason or another. I don't honestly remember the details. And supposedly they meet the Void there, even though he's not supposed to be there. And the Void brings like a whole ass army that apparently the general of that army is someone the Sentry is looking for to get some answers about his past. So the Void told this general everything he needs to know about the Sentry and everything he and then just straight up took out his soul and ate it.
Yeah.
You know,
Fun.
fun times.
Okay. So I guess I'll just cut straight to the point. Richard, do you
Yo.
think Superboy Prime has any resistance to any soul fuckery or whatnot?
Yes.
Okay, do tell.
Well, he has fought against magical characters that have that ability to mess and screw with one's soul.
Okay.
And, straight more to the point, his durability has basically been tested time and time and time again. He's been absolutely, he's been through the ringer. As I mentioned, the entire thing with the Black Lantern Ring, the Black Lantern Rings are literally something that can corrupt your soul. And he was able to resist and fight that, and even go through temporarily most of the colors of the Lantern spectrum.
Right.
And fun fact, Avarice, that spectrum, the one that Kyle also has access to as a White Lantern, Avarice is the emotional spectrum that allows somebody to manipulate and mess with your soul.
Okay.
I will say Sentry should have. I mentioned this earlier, but Sentry should have resistance to corruption as well. When he was killed by Null, his soul was supposed to be transported to Valhalla by Valkyrie, but along the way they ran into a sort of like headless celestial or something, and it grabbed Sentry, which, remember, it's still his soul, and tried to merge it into I guess it's some sort of collection of souls or something.
Kind of like Ermac.
I guess. And the Sentry was able to fight off. He couldn't stop the Celestial from absorbing him, but he could stop it from corrupting him. Basically, I think other corrupted souls have are put in alternate realities or something. Like a reality where they live a different life or something. I will admit I'm not extremely privy to the details, even though this is a later Sentry comic, but shut up. It's by this time I'm still reeling over how the frick did Sentry get freaking ripped into sushimi by Null. But anyway,
who knows?
It should be noted. It should be noted. It is made clear that he could fight off the corruption, but it wouldn't have lasted very long. If Valkyrie, I keep calling her Valkyrie. It's Jane. It's Jane Foster. She's Valkyrie now. If she hadn't saved all the souls, then Sentry probably would have given in eventually. It's the never-ending battle, basically.
Right.
It's just at some point you're gonna run out of gas. So, yeah.
Okay. I do want to clarify one thing on Superboy Prime, then, just in case I missed it. So you mentioned him joining Sinestro and the Yellow Lantern Corps. Did he obtain a Yellow Lantern ring from that, or no?
Temporarily, at the time, yes, he did. He was a Yellow Lantern member, but then eventually, after he was flown into the far future, he had just been stripped of his lantern prowess at that time.
Okay, so would you not give him a Yellow Lantern ring for the sake of this discussion?
For the sake of this discussion, no, he does not get a Yellow Lantern ring.
Okay.
For the sake of argument, though, what exactly does he do with the Lantern ring?
For the sake of the argument, not that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ask because I'm every time I see someone who isn't a Lantern get a Lantern ring, I always think, oh geez, we said that about Black Adam and all he did was make a lightning tiger. So
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this is important now, okay? Like if it was a lantern, like duh, but like duh, they can do basically anything with it. But when it's not a lantern, you got to think about like what they do with it. And if in I guess in Superboy Prime's case, it's like, well, not much, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, glad we got that out of the way.
All right. I'm gonna let y'all. If y'all have any questions for each other, go ahead. But
Yeah, I got one.
All right, what's up?
All right, go on.
So your only mate brought this up, and you just brought it up. So tell me about what is the context of Century making everyone within the Marvel Universe and quote unquote his own creator forget him?
Okay, it's funny because I'm not gonna lie. Starting off researching Sentry was really freaking confusing.
Yeah.
Because,
No, absolutely.
because they retell his story so many times.
Right.
Like obviously it's intentional because the Sentry is meant to be like a mystery man, like a mystery hero, so to speak. But God, at some point it's like at one point it was, hey, he drank a super soldier serum that was given to him by a professor, and the professor told him, hey, you need to drink as much, like, what, your powers are on a limit or something. If you want to get it again, you got to drink this again. Smile. And then it's like, hey, the Void is its own separate character. And then it's like, oh wait, no, it's not. It's actually you all along. You have a severe split personality disorder.
Oh.
It's confusing. In fact, there's a whole Sentry, like the whole second volume of Sentry's runs are basically him trying to figure out, okay, what the hell is actually the truth.
Yes, because the reason I ask, and this is important because I believe I saw the user Man of Action create his own prediction, and he did bring up a good point. Was that the actual creator of the Sentry, or was that just a fictionalized version of Sentry's creator?
It's a fictionalized version of him.
Okay, so the reason I ask that question is because can Sentry do that? Like, can he just make people forget who he is naturally, or is that just a phenomenon within the confines of his own story?
No. Okay. So I said this was a long story, but I guess to try to make an extremely long story short, essentially, it's both long and confusing. Par for the course for Sentry's origin story, I guess. So I think what happened was, how everybody forgot about the Sentry was, he got captured by the general and got who was working with the mutant mastermind.
Right.
And Mastermind used his mutant power, which is essentially someday I need to read up on some of these like D-list Marvel characters, but I think Mastermind's whole deal is that it's like really souped up mind control, mind manipulation of sorts. So he basically made everybody forget the Sentry because he's the enemy, kind of.
Right.
And then yeah. But the explanation they give initially is that him and Reed set up a like a transmitter in the watchtower.
Yeah.
Which essentially so I think the story goes is that they find out about the whole truth between Sentry and the Void, and realize that the best way to stop the Void is to essentially kill the Sentry, kind of. What they actually do is he fakes his death in some battle, and Reed essentially tells everybody that the Sentry is not actually a great hero. He's made like deals with like bribe deals or something. Like he's basically just like completely down talking the Sentry. Of course, it's all an act, but but then okay, hold up.
Yeah.
I'm reading. I have Sentry's Marvel Wiki page open, just so I can try to piece this together.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, essentially the transmitter in the watchtower is essentially meant to make everybody forget the Sentry so that it can dispel the Void. Like it's basically the way to defeat the Void. Can he do it naturally, like without a transmitter or without whatever bullshit's going on with Mastermind? I'm still not 100% sure on that. No.
Okay.
Like it's not like he could just like snap his fingers and now everybody's forgotten about him again. God, if it were that easy, he'd never have to deal with the Void.
It's true.
Back a little bit.
You have a question for me about Prime?
Not exactly.
Okay.
There's a big question weighing on this matchup, and I kind of want to save it for last.
Okay. Can do.
Hopefully, I don't want to obviously say what it is because I want to build up to it, but hopefully you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
I do know what you're talking about. Yep.
Okay. I guess just real quick, since it's not like the craziest thing ever, we can kind of jump into their stats.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to comment. I wanted to comment on that, but just in case it connects with the thing. But okay, so I'll just say it like this: is it safe to say, like with most Marvel versus DC matchups nowadays, is it safe to say that they are even enough in a statistical way?
Yes, but also no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first off, let me just say speed would definitely go to Prime. Now, granted, Sentry scaling to Thor, who can move in plank time, that's pretty damn fast. Very fast. Arguably, that's the fastest speed feat that we know of that is in the Marvel Universe.
I would honestly just say they're even. They're like the Sentry is like unquestionably incalculable. So
Well, okay. I would say I would push that Prime is slightly faster because we have to remember he scales to literally most, if not all, of the fastest people in the DC universe. The two higher ups being Barry Allen as the Flash and Superman, the latter of which was obviously fast enough to break through the bonds of infinity by flying so fast, to where he reached incalculable speeds. I would say because Superboy Prime has shown that he can keep up with every speedster in his universe, and even out of that universe, I would say he would get a slight edge in terms of those incalculable speed feats, but I would concede Bro is right. Technically, if you really wanted to just call it, speed is a wash between them.
Okay. And what about for strength then?
Strength? Well, Superboy Prime is essentially one of the strongest characters in DC Comics. He's arguably in the top 3, right below Darkseid and Superman. And the fact that he's been able to beat both of them, yeah, no, he's pretty fucking strong. Like, I can't even tell you just how strong he is with his level of power. Like, all I have to say is he's defeated and scales to Superman. That should be enough.
Yeah, I'll fully go ahead and say, likelihood is either they're even enough in strength where it hardly matters, or comparing them as kind of a wash, or Superboy Prime is probably just stronger. It's my understanding that Prime should scale higher in DC's world than Sentry does in Marvel's, because Prime has gone up against everyone. The specific one is the Batman Who Laughs, or the Darkest Knight, or whatever.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the Sentry, taking hits from Allfather Thor is cool, and then he's fought some vague, not explained, he's said to stalemate Galactus, but obviously Galactus's power fluctuates depending on how hungry he is, and they don't say what state of hunger Galactus was in, because the Sentry's battle with Galactus is like expedition. It's never shown on page. I was about to say on screen, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Hungry Galactus is still soloing 90% of the combatants on Death Battle, but but we're talking okay. Let me say this: when it comes to their over obviously getting to cosmology stuff is obviously oof, but for the sake of it, let's say they're relative. Let's say their cosmology is relatively even. But again, Superboy scales higher in his than Sentry does in his.
Because...
Yeah, I'll fully concede that Superboy Prime should probably be stronger.
Yeah, because I can tell you one of the strongest feat he has is he completely destroyed and erased Earth 12. Not that Earth 12, the one that Warner Brothers and DC like to paint as the Timverse. I'm talking about the original Earth 12, where essentially General Zod was Superman. He killed everyone in that universe, and then he destroyed that universe. And I also should note, he killed Anti-Monitor, who is DC's equivalent of Galactus, except where Galactus devours planets and can arguably threaten the entire multiverse. The Anti-Monitor's whole deal is he can literally erase the entire multiverse itself. he goes after universe after universe until the multiverse is now in his image, and Prime killed him. So, and again, he's even defeated. He's gone toe to toe with Darkseid, and here's the craziest thing: when he was, because fun fact, the Speed Force wasn't the only place he was trapped in. He was also trapped and imprisoned in the Source Wall, and then he broke out of the Source Wall, and then with the help of another magician, he pulled Mr. Mitzi Spitlick out of the fifth dimension and trapped him inside the Source Wall, perpetually beating the shit out of him. So, if I had to say what a number was, like, in terms of strength, he's probably breaking the fifth dimension.
Okay. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. Here's the thing though. Like I said, I'll fully concede that Superboy Prime is stronger. However, I don't think it necessarily matters. As far as like a
I'll
brute,
concede to that.
as far as like a brute strength. Okay, let me pause. Whether Superboy Prime is as strong as Sentry or stronger, neither option is going to win this fight by itself, mainly because of the Sentry's frankly ungodly regeneration.
That's a good topic we could get into. Who has the better regeneration?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll let Bro go first, because he's already started on that topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of went into most of it in my opening statement, but since that was an hour ago, I'll remind everybody. So he was shot in the face by an alien gun that burned his skin off. Fun fact: the trigger-happy perpetrator was his wife.
Yeah.
Did I mention that this guy's life sucks yet?
Yes.
I can tell.
He was blown up from the inside out by Morgan Le Fay. This feat's apparently weird. I guess some people think. Okay, admittedly, I'm not like 100,000% sure how Morgan Le Fay's power works. But I guess there's some arguments that when Morgan Le Fay killed Sentry, she erased him from existence or something. If that's the case, that was never brought up. What looks like what actually happened is essentially the Sentry just spontaneously exploded with like nothing remaining, and there's Morgan Le Fay standing where he was. And then as soon as the Avengers, or the Dark Avengers in this case, take her down and win the fight, as they're heading their way back to Avengers Tower, the Sentry shows back up.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like just they're flying back to Avengers Tower in a Quinjet, and just before they reach it, a giant flash of light appears right in front of them, and then out comes the Sentry.
Okay, question. Is that the only time something like this is... Okay. Yeah. So, or if you want to give more examples first, but... I'm curious, is this kind of like Cell's regeneration, where like he can regenerate, but he needs like, one thing of his body? Or is it just like a...
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I can say is that every single one of the Dark Avengers thought he was the big dead.
Okay.
Like they saw him blow up, and they were like, "Well, that sucks. How the frick do we win now?"
Okay.
And then they did, but then, yeah, they won the battle. They were going back home, and then he shows back up. I literally could not tell you anything more than that. That's just how it's presented.
Okay. Question then: has he been able to come back from? I don't want to say this. Is he able to come back from like nothing, or like? I don't know.
That seems to be what happened here, because when Morgan Le Fay blew him up, there was nothing left. There wasn't like body parts laying around. We're not that morbid here.
I'll be honest, that's what I initially thought. So good to know.
No, it's like he blew up out of nowhere. Like it was just this giant explosion from where he was standing, and when the smoke cleared, he was gone. Morgan Le Fay is right where he was. It's like he disappeared. Okay. The interesting thing is, I don't know if he regenerated from there, or if he regenerated right in front of the Avengers when they were flying back home. It's not super clear. What is super clear though is when the Dark Avengers were going up against a little D-list villain by the name of Molecule Man.
Oh goodness.
And his power, well, it's exactly what it says on the tin. He manipulates molecules, basically. And wouldn't you know it, he pulled Sentry apart, but by molecules. It's to the point where, again, there was basically nothing left. My best guess is obviously all of his molecules were probably just like spread out. This is obviously a hacks thing, but I digress. Now, initially, I was confused because it seems like Molecule Man stopped, like he reversed everything, which would reverse Sentry back to his normal state. So I was like, oh, okay, this is probably just Molecule Man just saying like, here, I'll turn it back, just leave me alone, for crying out loud. Obviously, Sentry not super happy about that. Let's.
I wonder why.
Yeah, like it's not like I just got pulled apart molecule by molecule, you know. Anyway, so in his anger, he flies over to Molecule Man and borderline beats the shit out of him. And Molecule Man was like, okay, not doing this, and wipes him out again. But then this time the Sentry actually comes back and starts doing the same thing to him. Like he basically just like stole his power. He didn't actually steal his power. It's something he's apparently had all along, and he's just now realizing it. But yeah, he was able to pull himself back together and turn the whole pull you apart thing back on him.
Okay.
So yeah, and then okay, Emily, again, not super clear, but when he was killed by Thor, so Thor killed the Void, which inherently killed Robert Reynolds, and in a sense of like, I don't know, honor, respect, I don't know, Thor took Robert's corpse, flew up to the sun, and just dropped him in it. There's some, you know, I guess some funeral symbolism there. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the whole like, you know, you join others in the sun sort of concept. I make it sound worse than it actually is, but like it's actually a form of respect. But I digress. And then he was brought back by the Apocalypse Twins. So he says that his body was regrown from a single atom. I'm the only thing is that I'm not 100,000% sure if this was his own body regenerating or if this was the result of his resurrection from the Death Seed. That they didn't say. It's interesting though because both Sentry and the Void have been thrown into the sun before and have been relatively fine. I mean, there's one instance where Sentry literally flies himself into the sun. If I remember correctly, I think this is an attempt to kill himself. And then, but instead of doing that, the sun's heat like basically burns him down to like his skeleton, and then his skin regrows while he's still inside the sun. Because you know that's how that works.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, that's those are the feats that come to mind immediately.
All right.
Yeah, Richard, what you got on the
Okay.
front?
So, here I'll start off with the big one, because there's been a theme in my explanations of Prime, but in case it wasn't obvious, the only way to beat Prime is to temporarily banish him, and even then, it's not something that'll stick because he can literally just break out. Because he can punch through reality and dimensions to go wherever he wants to go. Usually that means that if he's not careful, he can destroy a reality. And funny enough, when he is hopping through dimensions, it's literally, whether it's meta or not, the space between dimensions is a comic book panel. And it is represented by a comic book page turning for him to find the right dimension. So his biggest feats that come to mind when it comes to his regeneration are when, I don't know if it was Ganthid, but it was a Guardian of Oa, which, by the way, fun fact, he killed a big chunk of the Green Lanterns and a Guardian. And this Guardian decided to get rid of him by destroying him atom by atom, right down to his skeleton. And he even says that he has been erased from the universe. And even if he did survive, he'll just end up somewhere else in the multiverse. And wouldn't you know it, he's there in the he's there in another part of the multiverse. And fun fact, because I forgot to mention one of his other powers, he has power absorption. And he found this out when Ganthid, or the Guardian, used all of his energy to destroy him atom by atom, and he got a temporary boost in power from absorbing that energy. And then his other biggest regeneration feats are when he was, when he literally punched himself, his future self, the Time Trapper, and, you know, as time travel or time logic goes, if you hurt yourself or do anything to yourself in the future, it affects your present. And instead of killing him, he was sent back to Earth Prime. And then, as I said earlier, when he destroyed the Batman Who Laughs power to rewrite all of the DC multiverse as a whole, he was dead, and then he was immediately back in his universe reading those events. So, very much like how the Time Trapper said himself, because Superboy Prime in the future will screw around with time and the fabric of space so much, he is essentially a cosmic linchpin in it. Meaning, he cannot die, he cannot be erased, he's basically unkillable and immortal. And another fun fact, he was once able to resist kryptonite, because there's a little catch. Let's say Sentry was able to find a way to get kryptonite into this equation. Well, that would be a problem, because as Prime told us, he's immune to kryptonite from the DC universe. He isn't immune to kryptonite from Earth Prime. And unlike his super counterparts, he has resistances to magical attacks, and anything that is magical is ineffective on him. He's even gone up against creatures that were magical in nature that tried to go after him, and it wouldn't work because he's immune to it. Yeah, that's about it.
Alright.
And his regeneration is instantaneous, if that wasn't clear.
I thought I was just gonna question that.
Yep. Not seconds, instantaneously.
Okay. Question about the power absorption. Does it have any limit, or is it just
Temporary. It's essentially, unlike Superman and All-Star Superman, where if he absorbs too much yellow sunlight, it can kill him. Prime more or less has that, but he can absorb it much better than Clark can. So he does get a super boost from absorbing energy. It's not permanent, it's literally just temporary.
But it does still
It's
have a
essentially-
limit, yeah?
There is a limit, yes. Now, granted, it won't come into play. It doesn't seem to come into play now, because he's never been in this situation, but the time that he essentially did absorb too much, where he was going through something very similar to what All-Star Superman had to go through, but eventually it just went away. So defining his upper limit is hard, because that's just it. If Ganthet's energy is okay, but another person's energy isn't, then it really just depends on the amount of power.
I find it interesting that the limit could be like absorbing too much solar energy, and then the Sentry has been described in pretty much every single comic he ever appears in as having the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns.
Yeah, well, again,
I'm not trying to imply anything with that. I just think it's funny.
No, no, yeah, that's why I think if Superman and regular Superman essentially were to fight, then yeah, he probably would beat Superman, because again, even if it was just that one story, the idea that Superman can absorb, that Superman has a limit with the solar radiation absorption is funny, because yeah, then Sentry could essentially kill him. Superboy Prime, again, Superboy Prime can absorb as much solar energy as he wants. There's no upper limit to it.
I will say, on that note, I honestly do want to test Sentry's chances against Superman. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to ask if Prime can resist being disintegrated molecule by molecule, but
Yeah. Alright, yeah. The atom by atom thing pretty much covers that. Yes. And very much like Wally West, and very much like other bullshit DC characters to answer. Yes, he does have control over his own individual molecules.
sure. Just to clarify something, when you were explaining that, you said it was down to a skeleton.
Yeah.
So was a skeleton not affected, or I'm confused?
So, okay, essentially, the Guardian basically just had enough of it, and literally just used. Now, okay, it appears that it was 2 Guardians, so because another Guardian did die in the conflict, but whatever the case may be, the Guardian energy that was used to kill him, quote-unquote, by taking him apart, literally atom by atom, down to the skeleton. The implication is, as soon as he's down to the skeleton, he's dead. He's gone. But then, miraculously, he's alive. Because even the Guardians themselves said, even if he is alive, even though that could be impossible because he was gone atom by atom, the best case scenario is he won't be in this universe anymore. He'll be in another part of the multiverse. And they were pretty much right. So here, this is what we're looking at. Like, this is his skeleton inside this giant ball of green energy that is killing him.
That's in our server, by the way.
Yes, it's in. Oh, sorry.
That was a good. Just for the record.
Thank you. Whoopsie.
Oops. Yeah, it's all right.
No worries. We get the picture.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I think I can pull up a similar. If you're gonna pull up scans, I might as well do the same. Let me just see if I
Yeah.
can.
And yeah, again, just he survived it.
He shouldn't have, by their logic, but he did.
Comics moment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And not only did he survive it, not only did he get warped to another part of the multiverse, but again, that's when he found out he absorbed it. And yeah, he can absorb energy.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
And I should note that Sentry can also use his molecular powers to like form objects and shit. He formed like some monster thing. I don't exactly know what it is. And I would think it's like a statue, but that's probably just because it's a comic book page. But he forms like some monster werewolf thing in like the palm of his hands in like literally the next page.
Right.
So yeah, okay. Okay. What else was I gonna?
I mean, I also should note, he's tanked hits from literally everyone. Superman, Wonder Woman, all 3 Flashes at that current point in time, Martian Manhunter, and also Black Adam, and all of the Green Lanterns, even the most popular ones like Guy, Howe, and others. And nothing.
Curious.
And yeah. Yep.
Oh, I should probably note. I didn't bring this up because I didn't think it'd be super relevant, but something I should probably note is that if you have any thoughts about absorbing or like stealing the Sentry's powers, don't. Because not that he can't resist it. So, when he was with the regular Avengers, this was prior to Civil War, I think. The Avengers fought a super adaptoid, which, from my understanding, kind of works like Metal Sonic copying biodata. It's like you fight him, you punch him, and then he now has your powers. Smile.
Yeah. Well, when you're done, I have one more durability thing I forgot to bring up.
Okay. So when the Adaptoid absorbed the Sentry's powers, it also absorbed the Void's control, and caused it to go insane. Sentry even said, like, "Yo, you fecked up." Yeah, because like the Sentry battles the Void in the mind every day. An Adaptoid is not doing that. And then I think Emma Frost tried to take the Void as well, so like the Sentry doesn't have to deal with that burden anymore. And once again, proved wasn't exactly a great idea. Good intentions, of course. You know, just trying to help a friend out. But then she realized just what the Sentry has to go through every single goddamn day.
I'm sure that was pleasant. And
Yeah.
nothing went. Okay. All right.
So yeah, don't steal his powers, because then you're gonna steal the Void, and you don't want to do that.
Fair
Right.
enough.
Okay.
So,
Now let's
yeah.
just do a thing.
no, that's fair. Yeah. So his other durability and regen feat is when he survived. He and the Anti-Monitor survived both because the Anti-Monitor came back, by the way, because of course he fucking did. So him, the entire Green Lanterns decided that they would take, in order to defeat both of them, that they would take the Yellow Lantern core, the actual fucking core, and Warworld, and essentially toss them at them, and
should bear in mind that the explosion, had the lanterns not put up a shield around the Earth, the explosion was said to be so strong that it almost destroyed the Milky Way galaxy. And Prime was fine. And he also flew through the chest of the Anti-Monitor, killing him, with no signs of being damaged, other than his costume being torn off. And that's not the first time he's been hit with something that could destroy the universe. So yeah.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I have a good idea for durability. I guess a big thing is probably, any hacksy abilities. Like, I know we already went over the soul chicanery. What else?
Else?
What else can the, like, how else do their abilities counter each other? I don't know.
How does Clark deal with mind manipulation?
That's a good.
Oh, mind manipulation? Oh, pretty good actually. So currently, he is fighting the ghost of Manchester Black, who too sacrificed himself for the cause of a good deed. But he is now a ghost and a remnant in the current DC universe, and nobody can see or interact with him, but his mind powers are still very much strong, and very much like how Superman before him. Manchester Black notes that in the start of this new issue, he literally had to use all of his power to get into Superboy Prime's head, because Superboy Prime is naturally immune to telepathic attacks and other telepathic shenanigans. So, yeah, he's pretty much got more or less the same resistances as Superman. You have to essentially crank up the juice really, really, really hard in order to even get inside of his mind. So he's no slouch in mental manipulation or attacks.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of some other abilities. This is
Well,
would be that bring up here aside from the obvious.
okay, so all right, so here's the other obvious thing. Because he's a comic book character, he knows everything about comics. He knows every character from pre-crisis and more or less post-crisis, and therefore he has a dangerous knowledge of the plot around him, and he can leave the comic book space. Now, that's not meaning he's omniversal. That just means that he's able to break out of that universe, which to us represents the comic book world. He can travel through dimensions whenever he wants. No upper limit.
Okay.
Yeah, so he obviously has the ability, so he can take this fight to anywhere he wants, hypothetically. And even though this doesn't count, because unfortunately it can't count unless the newest issue of DC Comics proves me otherwise, he knows all about the Marvel Universe, because he was featured in a one-shot
team up with Spider-Man, but not just any Spider-Man. It's the Spider-Man pre One More Day, and he knows all about him and the symbiote. And he also has fought against the High Evolutionary. So there is a reason to note that he would know who Sentry is, but again, this is obviously an outlier because it's not even established as main canon, but it was while he was on his it was while he was going through his redemption phase, or not phase, redemption arc.
That also feels like a bit of a hypothetical.
It is a hypothetical, yes, but just to
like,
really...
Like, cool, he's a Spider-Man fan, he knows who Spider-Man is, but everybody knows who Spider-Man is.
Well, that's just it. No, nobody knows who Spider-Man is in the DC universe, because the mainline DC universe, because of the countless reboots that have happened, the DC universe has, and anyone in it has no idea or knowledge of the Marvel universe.
Okay,
they
great.
Are completely separate.
Great. My point is that even if that wasn't true and they all knew who Spider-Man was, it's far more likely they're going to know who Spider-Man is than if they're going to know who Sentry is.
Well, this, again, the main thing I was going with this is because Superboy Prime is a big comic book nerd, he knows more about comic book. He literally knows all about mainstream comic book characters and obscure comic book characters. There is practically nobody he doesn't know post-crisis.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that.
Oh, that still feels like kind of a hypothetical to me.
It is a big hypothetical, yes, I'm not denying that. I'm not using that as an argument, but I'm just saying if we were to push this further, then there is the possibility that he would know who the Sentry is. Because Prime loves all things comic books.
Okay.
All right, so we gonna get through the obvious question then.
Probably should, because we've been going on for a minute.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk the retcon punch then.
All right.
So let me just set the stage, because I did have to explain this to your only mate, who misunderstood, and a lot of people misunderstand. A lot of people seem to think the retcon punch is an attack, but it's not. The retcon punch is literally just something that he and Earth 2 Superman can do. Because he doesn't exactly have to hit somebody to do this punch. All he has to do is hit.
Punch.
Yes, is punch. Literally, and it doesn't have to be in a specific spot, mind you. He can literally punch reality and rewrite it. And now when I say rewrite it, a lot of people get confused by that. A lot of people think, oh, well, he can just rewrite reality and then boom, the universe is more or less the same, right? No, that's not how that works. When he first did it, and he's only done it once, he even says he can never do it again, because when he did it the first time, he changed DC Comics as a whole during post-crisis. The biggest example being, he was the one who brought back Jason Todd from the dead. Not a Lazarus.
Turns out Jason Todd is not actually dead.
No, I would like Jason's death was greatly exaggerated. But yes, so, and what that means is when he does the retcon punch, reality has to conform and abide by the new laws of time and space that he has now essentially created. So let's hypothetically say, and let's put it like this. Say if he was fighting the Hulk. You know how Superman has no way to stop Professor Banner or Hulk from coming back via the Green Door?
Mhm.
Okay, so I want you to now picture Superboy Prime fighting the Hulk. No reason, just the Hulk. And because he can't kill him, because he sees, removing the knowledge of Marvel Comics, he sees that the Hulk can't die, he can just decide, okay, I tried doing this the nice way, I guess I have to do it this way because it's just too much, and I don't want this to go on and on. All he has to do is just punch whatever is in his way, and he can effectively rewrite all of Marvel's entire cosmology. And what this means is that he can create a whole new Marvel multiverse where there is no Green Door. It's gone. The concept of the Green Door is no longer apparent. Hulk is back to being just Hulk. Meaning meaning his regeneration is back to the way it was, and if he dies, he dies. That is the retcon punch in a nutshell.
Okay, so it's not so much hitting someone with, okay. I think I get it. So, question then, because I feel like this is probably the most obvious thing to ask. So, in theory, could Prime do a retcon punch, or do the punch, and then make it so Sentry doesn't even have the Super Soldier Serum, or create a universe where he doesn't have the Super Soldier Serum in him at all, like before all that happened? Or is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Or could he? See, I was gonna make a what if scenario about the Void, but if the Void is
Yes.
not Sentry itself, but I guess the retcon still.
Yes, you are. Whatever what you're thinking. Yes, he can effectively create a universe. Bob is Bob, and the Void is gone. The Sentry is gone. He's just normal. Because that's the way the universe now. That's the way that not just the universe, but the entire concept of the new Marvel multiverse operates.
Okay. Question for Sentry then: does he have any way of? I don't know. Does he have any way of affecting reality, or
That's my question too.
survive reality being rewritten or whatever? I don't freaking know.
Yeah, because
Okay, so I know Merge Sentry has reality warping. It said that he can warp reality with his presence.
I guess we really brought up Merge Sentry, but that could be important. Anyway, go on.
I'm not. The thing is, though, that's yeah, that's literally what it just says. What does he actually do with that? Honestly, God knows.
yeah.
And
Well.
then, okay. Well, the question of the day, the question of the hour, the question of this entire godforsaken matchup is: can Sentry resist the retcon punch? Can if Superboy Prime hits him with this punch, hits him with this ability, can Sentry just be like, nah,
no.
yeah, and brother, I tried to find something, that could answer this question in a very, definitive way. And quite honestly, the Sentry is retconned the character. It literally, his whole point, his whole story, is that his story was erased from everybody's minds. And like the whole like the whole thing that the retcon punch does is that it retcons you.
Yeah, you not. Yes, it literally. It's in the name. And again, I should say this. He doesn't have to hit anybody with it.
Nope.
It's not a punch he has to hit somebody with.
He just has to punch.
He can
It's just a
simply
punch.
punch.
And again, it's not even a special area. All he has to do is just smack the air, the literal air, around him hard enough, really hard enough, and boom, he can reset and retcon literally all of reality within the universe, within the DC multiverse, to having it be something that is now permanent in the real world. Because yeah, when he did it the first time, it wasn't something that stayed within universe. No, it actually affected the real world. Because now, thanks to him, the before the New 52 happened, yeah, Jason being alive, that's it. It's done. It is now part of both the in-universe and out-universe. That it's thanks to Superboy doing the retcon punch that Jason is alive. And also, he created, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this, he erased the original Earth 2. Power Girl still comes from that Earth, but the version that had the Golden Age Superman from that he killed, he's gone. He doesn't exist in the modern DC multiverse or outside of it, because the rules just apply that, yeah, whatever happens, it's permanent. It can't be undone. There's no undo button.
Not gonna lie, I was gonna make an argument like, oh, what happens if he just doesn't have, if someone was able to cut his arms off, that way he just doesn't punch. Literally, but his regeneration is too good for that.
Yeah, his regeneration is too good. His skin is invulnerable. So, and because he's immune to any form of kryptonite that isn't from his own universe, you can't even use a kryptonite weapon against him. You have no way. And fun fact, he survived getting hit by energy and heat vision blast from literally every super imaginable, and he's never lost so much as a fucking finger. Because he's just that damn invulnerable.
I'm trying to think.
Well, there's one other thing I want to bring up. And this might serve as the final nail in the coffin.
Okay.
I want to quickly talk about a little event. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. A little event known as House of M.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure you all know the story. You know, the world was reset. Everybody got new lives.
Almost everyone.
Yeah, I guess almost everybody.
Semantics, whatever.
Semantics.
Yeah, semantics.
Uh, amazingly enough, the almost everybody is actually not important here. And
No.
you want to know the reason why? It's because that almost everybody does not include Mr. Reynolds. Now apparently there's this argument going around that Robert wasn't affected by House of M. I would really like to know where they get that information from.
Or what kind of copium they're on.
Yeah, because he straight up was. I mean, okay, like I guess like it's because what Robert essentially turns into is, like, a schizophrenic drug addict with a split personality disorder. That sounds very similar, right? And to an extent, it is. Here's the difference, though. He's Robert Reynolds. He's not the Sentry. And this split personality is not the Void. He's not a good person, not even a little bit. He's yeah, but he's not a superhero or supervillain. He's just a good dude with a split personality who's an asshole. In fact, the Sentry's whole the Robert's whole role in House of M is he is a psychiatrist client for that world's version of Doctor Strange.
Oh.
I say client, more like patient. Like, you know, psychiatry sessions. You have your psychiatrist, and then you have your patient that goes through everything, all of that, blah 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 blah. Robert's the patient. Robert's the patient trying to deal with his split personality.
Okay.
He is not the Sentry. He is not the Void. Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme. They are Dr. Stephen Strange and Robert Reynolds. So Robert actually was affected, and I have no idea why. Aside from him having like a similar, like, the whole split personality disorder thing, they are not the same. He was affected by House of M. He was technically retconned. So yeah.
Absolutely susceptible to it. No matter what. I don't know. Does the Void do anything to say here? I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Here, let me. I've seen people suggest this, and this could be something that could be possible. So, Superboy Prime's biggest fear is darkness.
Oh.
Okay.
That's the Void in a nutshell.
Yes. Yes.
So
Here's. It's a double-edged sword.
Of course it is.
Yeah, because guess what? Okay. Well. Cool. The Void technically could, and I mean could, if Superboy Prime let it. It could affect him. Because yes, he is afraid of the darkness, but it's not so much as being left alone in the dark. No, it's the concept of the darkness itself. And since Superboy Prime does have his inner doubts and insecurities, then yes, it could almost take him. Unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, because Superboy Prime has shown to have a mental resistance and willpower to literally get through anything that he needs to, because he simply won't go. He can overcome it, and even if he's trapped inside the void, that doesn't mean it's cut off his ability to use the retcon punch, because as I said, he can just do the retcon punch literally anytime, any place he wants. But the question would be, would the void be fast enough to take him?
Well, I mean, based on what we've said, it sounds like probably not. If Clark is faster, which it sounds like it sounds like he is, or it's whatever, close enough. So, Lena, I don't know, bro. Do you have anything on that?
Not really. I will say, one ability that Merge Sentry has, that I didn't mention because I didn't think it was that important, is that he can basically envelop himself and a person in complete darkness. Think of it kind of like a domain expansion.
Yeah.
Funny considering what our last episode was, but I digress. Like he forms like a giant bubble around himself, and so when Merge Sentry first appeared, it was during his fight against his former sidekick, the Scout. And he forms like a giant black bubble around him, around the two of them. And inside are just plain old Robert Reynolds and why am I blanking on his name? Billy Turner. They're not powered up or anything. They're talking, and they talk about hey, you need to stop. You need to chill. Because the Scout's kind of going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So much so that he's before Sentry showed up, he was battling freaking the Hulkbuster. I guess long story short, Billy wanted to be the Sentry and was always jealous. I guess I forget. Or rather, I guess he just doesn't trust Robert to be the Sentry, because why the hell would you, honestly?
Yeah.
So he traps them in darkness. It's literally you can look around and all you'll see is yourself, the person in front of you, and then surrounding you is just a bunch of black. It's complete darkness, complete pitch black. It's nothing. In a sense, you could say it's a void. So they talk about, hey, you need to chill, you need to stop. And eventually, after some, talk no jutsu, Billy's kind of in a help me, it hurts sort of mindset. You need to help me. And by help me, I mean put me out of my goddamn misery. And that's exactly what he does. I will not go into any more detail than that.
Noted.
It's not important. It's very abrupt. All you need to know is Billy Turner is feckin' dead.
Okay.
And then he puts the I'll call it a domain. Screw it. Then he puts it back down. Just to show the incoming Avengers that hey, that guy that Tony was fighting earlier, yeah, he's just dead at my feet now. What are you gonna do about it? Merge Century is kind of a messed up person, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that. It's here. Okay.
Like he's not as evil. He's not as evil as the Void, but he's kind of as much of an asshole.
Right. Okay. So
Anyway, so hey, there's something to counter. There's something to take advantage of. A fear of darkness, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something.
It's something, but it literally would just come down to which would happen first.
See,
Prime
that's
being able to overcome it, or him being swallowed up by the darkness.
See, that's the thing, and that's kind of the annoying part of this fight, is that the Sentry has so many abilities, and so much stuff that could probably take Superboy Prime down, and yeah, and then in Superboy Prime's case, it's I punch you and I retcon you, and then I win.
Yeah.
It's
Literally, it's quality versus quantity, essentially.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. Like, it's not just quality versus quantity. It's if Superboy Prime can retcon you by throwing a punch, he doesn't even have to punch you.
Nope.
It's like, here, you didn't see me, but I just threw a punch. That act alone, like, I've now just retconned something. I don't know what, but I did something.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically Superboy Prime has like one major win condition, but it's also like what is ultimately the most likely win condition to ever show up in this fight.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see them not going the obvious route and just saying, "Oh, the retcon punch," but it's like for the longest time, I thought that this fight could end in a draw because it literally could, hypothetically, even if the retcon punch does affect Bob. Which now we know, thanks to the House of M, and thanks to Bob's whole freaking character as a whole being, I've been retconned, man. But the idea of the darkness, I think, is a factor that nobody is considering. So, I don't know. I don't know how this goes.
Well, I think I do. So I guess I'll go first in our final calls. Unless ZDogg wants to go first.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care. You go.
Okay. Okay, so I'll admit, it's a fascinating matchup, but the end result, I kind of hate it. It's like, yeah, cool. Look at all these cool abilities that Sentry can do, and like a good chunk of them can probably kill Superboy Prime. Here's this one ability that Superboy Prime has that can kill Sentry. Here's the catch, the catch 22, if you will. This thing's coming out first more often than not. And no matter what I did or how hard I tried, I could not find any way I could say with full confidence that yes, the Sentry can resist this. If he could, I'd just flat out say he wins. But I don't think he does. So I honestly gotta go with Superboy Prime. So that's
Oh.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, Richard, would you like to give yours next, or
Yeah. I want to say it's a draw.
okay? Well,
I because yes, bro's right. The outcome with the retcon punch is the likely one to happen more times than not. But again, the factor of the darkness is and the void potentially getting an engulfing Prime. Like, yeah, will Prime die? Yes, but he'll just come back because again, like, yes, Sentry has multiple different ways he can kill Prime. That's fun. So does Prime. But they're both gonna come back regardless. The retcon punch is literally the golden trump card. And since we know it can and has affected Sentry and Bob more times than not, I don't know. Like, this feels too good to be true to me to say that I think Prime wins. Because yes, if bro's right, if Sentry could just counter the retcon punch, well, congratulations, we're at an impasse. These two effectively can't kill each other. They can't die. So, what do we do? I'm assuming the rules of BrobusCast will not allow me to say a draw.
Probably not.
Okay, well, I said I was sticking with the characters I rep. Ride or die. If I lose, I lose. If it's a draw, cool. I'm happy with that. But I'll go with Superboy Prime. I really like him more as a character.
All right, Mr. Dog,
Oh.
you can't hide
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
No, I cannot, can I?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm happy to say I do feel like this is a very intriguing discussion to hear about, and hearing about both characters was a fascinating learning lesson. So, props to both of you on that. And honestly, I don't know. It feels kind of cliche, considering his reputation and versus. If I had to side with these, if I had to choose a side, because honestly, I could 100% see this turning into a draw. And if it is a draw, I'm not going to complain, honestly. I totally see it. 1,000%. But for this purpose, if I had to pick one, I would side with Prime. Granted, yes, I do agree. Sentry's abilities. There's a lot at play here, and the void, and exposing Clark's weakness to darkness is a really good thing. But even aside from the retcon punch, I do feel like a lot of Clark's abilities, they, I feel like there's a lot at play here that could also affect Sentry. And, it's just, assuming either they're even in stats or Prime has a strength and speed edge, that means, eventually is going to wear down Sentry. And then the retcon punch just Lamau. Can just Lamau Sentry and just kind of screw him over of any chances. So I'm going Superboy Prime here. But I definitely think it is way more debatable than a lot of people are giving it credit for. So, yeah.
That was the goal here on this section, was for us at BrobusCast to actually make this fight debatable.
Yeah, because I do kind of feel that a lot of people are just siding with Clark just because
He's Superman.
Yeah,
He's Superman.
Yeah,
always
exactly.
good.
But
But-
Again, though, I really do, like, win or lose against Prime. I really do want to test Sentry against Superman.
yeah, because ironically enough, I'm sorry, like, if that ever happened, I'll be the first to say it. I don't care what Superman can do. I think Sentry would win. And so would the boy, because Clark just has no counter to that. I'm sorry. Superman has no counter to that.
Maybe.
Just nothing. But
I also kind of, we've already made our final calls, so screw it. But I'm gonna, but screw it. I do want to make one other.
yeah,
Just to kind of give Sentry something. I think it matters just as much as stats, which is very little. But I would be shocked if he didn't win all of the tertiary advantages. You know, skill, intelligence, and so on.
intelligence, yes. Skill, I would also say that's probably a draw because Superboy Prime does have knowledge of martial arts as well. He doesn't use them, but he has gone toe-to-toe with those who are master martial artists. Like, he's pretty much landslided the Titans and the Doom Patrol, and literally anybody who has a fundamental knowledge of martial arts.
Yeah. Well, Sentry's kind of done that too.
Yeah.
Like at one point he sent out on a. He's basically sicked out on an army of Atlanteans by Norman Osborn. Like Norman basically tells him, "Hey, go to Atlantis, like fight their armies and kill every single person there except for one. Spare one Atlantean, but kill all the rest." And Sentry's like, "All right, fine." Goes out, kills all of them except for the one, and then dips.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't argue against that. Again, I think that it could be a tie for martial skill. Intelligence, yeah, Sentry wins. Experience, also a tie, because the people tend to forget Superboy Prime's been around for over 40 years.
Well,
Literally, in universe, 40 years.
Well, Sentry might have been around for longer because he was around before the Fantastic Four were around.
Shit, never mind them.
Um,
Well, yeah, well, I mean, there's also the time travel shenanigans too. Yeah, no, screw it. I'll concede the Sentry winning experience.
Okay.
Tertiary stuff, yeah, I would say. I mean, not. I do have to, kind of slightly light criticize the Death Battle preview, even though it doesn't matter because it's not the full thing, and I can't make a judgment call based off a preview of analyses. But I don't like how Death Battle are just outright saying that Clark is completely fucking stupid. He's not stupid. Like, is he as intelligent? He can, and has shown that he can be just as intelligent as Superman. Now, does he do that Now, did he do that all the time when he was in his I'm gonna kill you to death phase? No, he did not. But can he do it now? Yeah, he can, and he has. He's managed to surprise some of his foes by being pretty intelligent.
well, that's probably what the preview's going for. To be fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. Again, I don't want people to think, oh, it's essentially another. Again, funny how I was rewatching Terry versus Miguel, but it is essentially a situation where Bob has book smarts, whereas Prime has literal street smarts, because he was mostly raised on comic books.
All right. Well, anyway, Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I forgot to talk about it earlier because it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Sentry was never the Sentry was never gonna win off of like experience and intelligence.
No.
This
No.
isn't a Hulk versus Godzilla thing where like intelligence literally has the intelligence to literally prove that he can counter exactly what made his opponent be defeated in the first place.
True.
No, Sentry's just smarter by a lot, but who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Anyway,
That's about it.
that looks like
Alright.
that looks like a clean sweep, and that also looks like we've been going on for way too goddamn long.
Yeah, like removing the intermission, we're kind of going over about 3 minutes here.
Yeah, well. I mean, to be fair, I kind of expected this discussion to be a bit lengthier considering there's a lot
Yeah.
up there, so, but hey, it's done. We did it.
We did it.
Yes,
And we'll-
and I can make this bold statement. This will be the last time that I have such an unorthodox essay style breakdown for a character ever again. It was just for this one.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, but we did it. Like, huzzah, we got through. We actually did a good job with our first ever Marvel versus DC debate. How the hell have we just now started our style of debate with these two fucking big juggernauts?
Who knows?
We're gonna sleep like the dead.
Will say though, so far at least, judging from all the previews and shit, we're kicking off the return of Marvel vs. DC with an absolute bang.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this has the potential to be the best Marvel vs. DC fight to date.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's not like that's a high bar to begin with because the bar was literally set with Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah, I just realized I'll probably say it again next episode considering how late this is. But this is also our 30th Marvel vs. DC matchup.
Yeah,
This is true. I
It
also,
is.
it's also, I did the count. If Clark wins, Marvel and DC will be tied with each other again.
Yep.
'Cause currently Marvel does have a lead by 1. But if Clark wins, then they'll go back to being tied again. So all you DC fans, you better start praying.
Yeah. Mhm.
I end up tying and throwing a wrench and everything.
Yep. But yeah, it's great to have Marvel vs. DC back. There you go for all of you that were complaining about the anime fights taking that spot. Well, complain no more because Marvel vs. DC is back, and it's probably not going to take too long before everybody says they're sick and tired of them again, and
Yep.
they'll go back into a hibernation state.
Yep. And then the next episode will be Power versus Foo Fighters, and then everyone will go back to complaining about anime.
Yeah.
So joy. You
Joy.
can't.
Yeah, we literally can't win.
Nope.
All right, well.
Nope. But we can do what we can to be happy.
Good note to end on.
Yeah. On that note, thanks for watching. How the hell did you sit through all of this? If you did,
I swear to God, I need to time code this shit.
Yeah, we appreciate you regardless.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
We promise we'll put Richard on a limit next time.
Yeah. Look, I said I did warn people in the beginning, so don't pretend I didn't give y'all the warning.
He did give us a warning, so like,
Yeah, exactly. So if future editor BrobusCast feels like it, just put a text here that says this is a long one. Feel free to skip. I wouldn't be against that.
Noted.
Yeah. But yes, no, they. I mean it. That will be the last time I make an essay style breakdown on a character. It was just how I could best explain the character, and that's it. Now, if you'll excuse us, or you'll excuse me, I'm going to go into hibernation because
That's probably a really good idea.
yeah.
And on that note, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're excited for Sentry versus Superboy Prime.
also hope you enjoyed Yuji versus Denji.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And if you didn't, then that's on you.
And with that, we're gonna go to sleep. So goodbye.
Good night and good day.
See y'all.